we're still unable to connect to you now, is sending out its data packs, doing its thing, being nice. This is great. I'm a professional. I'm out of my power juice. It's currently we're on Twitch and Mixer right now. It's streaming fine there. My streaming monitor is telling me I'm offline, so that's great. Okay. Oh, we popped up on YouTube.
Yeah.
We popped up on YouTube. We did it. It only took 10 fucking minutes, but we did it.
Yep.
Oh, God. And we're back on Alfreaka TV now as well. So, yay. And we're on D-Live again. So, here we are.
Also, it's now titled Multi-Streaming with...
Of course it is.
.io.
Of course it is. Of course. It can't have it actually frickin' work right. No one of importance is still on the chat saying it's a black screen right. I think it's... The old event is still showing... It's like stream finished. It's like... Started the episode, stream over. It should be up right now as multi-streaming with restream.io. Because it likes to brag when it fucks shit up. There we go! So, hello, World Wide Web! I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair, who is, again, having a little trouble with my restreaming. But, on the plus side...
With the best nervous breakdown. As if I Spit on Your Grave, the original and remake were not enough.
So, that means probably my restream chat is no longer connected to the... It says it's still connected to the YouTube. Okay. But I guess it might be connected to that YouTube one, and not the other one. I don't know. It's all fuck. So I'm gonna go... Get out of this. Go to my live dashboard. Figure out what the heck I'm doing here. I don't know. Do you know? I don't. So, YouTube Studio Beta. Go to... Patricia, we got news, don't we? Let's talk about some news.
Yeah, let's talk about some news. Yes. I'm apologies with everything that's been going on. It's been a mess in terms of everything. But yes, let's talk about some news. I guess one of the first things, I know that with the title card, you're expecting us to talk about that, but that's here that we're not talking about that because we usually talk about that around the end because it's YouTube news. But we'll talk about some other things that are much more important. So let's go over Star Wars because that's going to be the other thing everybody's going to be talking about because the trailer just came out a few days ago. So here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a article from Polygon. Yep, share this off. Okay. Here we go. The trailer for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Here we go. The first trailer for Star Wars Episode 9, which is called Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, is here. Director J.J. Abrams, Lucasfilm's president Kathleen Kennedy, and the cast of the final film in the Skywalker saga unveiled the trailer for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker during a panel at the Star Wars Celebration on Friday. Episode 9 will pick up years after the events of Star Wars The Last Jedi. Rey, Finn, Poe, Dameron, and the remaining rebels of the Resistance have not only survived the onslaught from the evil First Order, but have reinforced their ranks. They'll face Kylo Ren's First Order forces, which are intent on wiping them out. They may face an old foe based off of the new teaser, which showed wreckage from the Death Star and the ominous laugh of Emperor Palpatine. How is he alive? I don't know.
Does that really matter anymore?
I guess not. It's the Force. Luke Skywalker's voiceover in the teaser says, perhaps as a warning, perhaps as comfort to Rey, that no one's ever really gone. So expect everybody who ever died to come back as a cameo, because of course we want to take on your nostalgia. Thanks, Disney.
Well, we just got our first comment on D-Live. Sour Square posted a gif of a rhinoceros pooping and said, "You like?" I feel welcome.
Sure. This movie is about the new generation and what they inherited, the light and the dark, and asking the question as they face the greatest evil. Are they prepared? Are they ready? Abrams said during today's Episode 9 panel. Star Wars Episode 9 will hit theaters on December 20th, 2019, and stars Daisy Ridley as Rey, Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, John Boyega as Finn, Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron, Lupita Nyong'o as Maz Kanata, Dom Hall Gleason as General Hux, Kelly Marie Tran as Rose Tico, Junis Suotamo as Chewbacca, Billy Lord as Lieutenant Connix, Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, and Billy D. Williams, who will reprise his role as Lando Calrissian. Carrie Fisher appears as General Leia Organa, with director J.J. Abrams using previous unreleased footage for Star Wars The Force Awakens. New to the cast of Episode 9 are Naomi Ackie as Janna, Richard E. Grant, and Kerry Russell. So yeah, I saw the trailer and it did look pretty good, considering that this will be the last of the Star Wars movies for a while. Because according to Bob Iger, they said that after this movie they want to take a hiatus.
Which it is for the best, and I think I've got better hope for this one because like Episode 8 and Solo, and it was all after like they were like, hey, you know what? We could do one every year. Hey, every year. You know, hey, what? We could do one every 6 months. Hey, let's just get a Star Wars movie every day. Why not? And people, it was getting to oversaturation. The quality wasn't quite there anymore. People didn't know what was going on, and they're like, okay, we got to slow this down. And they did. So I'm feeling more confident about Episode 9, personally.
Yeah.
Like, it went from us not having had a Star Wars movie in almost 2 decades to having 3 really shitty Star Wars movies within the space of about 7-8 years, something. It's about 7 years.
Yeah.
And then it went from that to us having nothing but Star Wars movies every year to every 6 months. And finally, people were like, okay, we like that you're making the attempt. Some of us do anyway. But, you know, there's such a thing as too much of a good thing. So stop it.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, I know that a lot of people grew up with the prequels. I understand if you have fond memories over it. But I think that, in my opinion, that the TV series and the shorts, such as like Clone Wars from Genndy Tartakovsky and the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV series, were able to bring in some pretty decent stories out of a trilogy that a lot of people just kind of dismiss altogether as saying like, oh, that this doesn't feel like Star Wars to me. So I'm glad that they were able to take some good off of it in terms of what Star Wars is. And, you know, the Clone Wars is, you know, having, it had a massive fan base, and, you know, we've had Star Wars Resistance, Star Wars Rebels, and now because of Disney Plus, which we'll discuss about in a minute, they're still doing Star Wars series, but not for the movies. They'll still take a break.
Okay. So yeah, we got a lot of chat coming in. Looking
Great.
good. We got the chat from YouTube is going to my restream chat, so that's actually working right now.
Yay.
But I still opened up the YouTube live dashboard, which is hidden because it's not actually part of the YouTube Studio beta. So even though they completely changed the live streaming thing there and have a new dashboard, I can't actually access it from the YouTube Studio beta live streaming page. I have no idea. I was just looking at it and it wasn't working right, and now I'm looking at the old one because there was a link saying, sorry, this isn't the feature here yet. I'm like, but I was just using it! Oh. So, Jacob Kennedy 2002 says Disney killed Clone Wars and is now reviving it. The fuck?
As a clone!
But yeah, whew. Star Wars fatigue is a real thing. One of the things about Star Wars was not only was it a high quality series, but you didn't get many of them. So, you know, Disney was able to pump out very expensive movies really quickly, but you still do need that time to work on the script, work on the world building, get everyone to also, you know, one of the benefits of taking your time is it gives the audience time to ingest it and come out with your own fan theories that the studio could maybe work with, could maybe not. But just if you're pumping it out too fast, you don't have time to really react to how people are taking your films. At least in my opinion. I've never actually made a movie that went in theaters everywhere and then made another one 6 months later. So
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
probably the best. I've seen what happens when you're under stress from just doing a review.
I
I
just
mean, if you were trying to do that, like make 2 movies in the space of a year, or 2 like blockbuster Hollywood movies, I honestly am concerned that your head might explode, scanner style.
Yeah. It's like Decker, the movie that you did, great. We want you to do it again, make it bigger, make it more badass, but you have half the budget, and we want it within 9 months.
that's normal sequel situations. But 123784444 games stopped off and dropped a $2 super chat saying Star Wars Episode X: The Sandwich Returns.
Or like, is that the movie where Han Solo is brought back to life as like after being injected with nanobots and is a cyborg now, and he goes on a killing spree? Oh wait, no, that's Jason X.
Yeah, that's Jason X. If the sandwich returns, so does that mean that Han Solo does return, but this time he is making sandwiches or is a sandwich? I mean, reincarnation is, or the Force is just, it's really inconsistent. It's really weird.
So, we also got a 99-cent super chat from Old Fashioned Slashin' with no comment. Thank you, Old Fashioned Slashin', for the tip.
Thank you very much. Epic Jason X9000 says, Star Wars Episode 9, The Quest for More Money. No, that will be Disney's biography documentary series, when they talk about how they pretty much just invested in so many companies that now everything is owned by Disney, which we kind of made fun of a few episodes of Live and Wired a while back. Speaking of Disney, I guess we can talk about the next bit, because it has been going around for quite a while about the streaming service for Disney, Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just fills me with confidence whenever anything adds a plus.
Yes. All right, so here we go. Disney Plus will be available on November 12th for $6.99 a month. So, who wants to read this?
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead, Creepy.
Okay. I should I do it in a funny voice?
Sure, why not? It's Disney.
Disney streaming service Disney Plus will launch on November 12th for
Oh God, no. We've got 120 viewers. That's going to drop very fast.
Probably just as well. That voice is actually really hard to do for a long time.
Man, I don't know how, people who voice Mickey Mouse, I don't know how you do it. Even more Donald Duck, geez, like that raspy, quacky voice, just geez, man.
I'm not even sure I could do Donald Duck and do him like in a well or convincing way, but
yeah,
I'll try a different voice. Okay.
Sure.
Disney's streaming service, Disney Plus, will launch on November 12th for $6.99 a month or $69.99 per year. Praising. The company confirmed on Thursday. Disney's Kevin Mayer, head of the company's direct-to-consumer unit, gave investors their first look at Disney Plus app and interface. Similar to Netflix, in the sense that you would rather be not watching Netflix. Disney Plus users are greeted by rows of recommended content, new TV series or movies added to the platform, and genres. Unlike Netflix, there's not really a whole lot that you want to watch that you don't already own on DVD. Also, there are 5 hubs that sit at the top of the page, which will bring users to designated areas for Disney's various franchises: Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic.
I didn't know Disney owned National Geographic.
Really?
I didn't know this.
Amanda Tucker says that's cheap. That is cheap. They were thinking it was going to be like $20 a month for the Disney streaming service.
I will say that surprised me as well. I was like, what the hell? I was like, that actually is insanely cheap.
Yeah, that is.
Also, we
go
had
ahead.
some super chats that we missed. Did you get we got Old Fashioned Slashin'. They didn't actually say anything. They just dropped 99.
Yeah, they just dropped 99 cents. Gabriel Gonzalez Vilches, who donated 1,000 CLP, says, Decker, Creepy Patricia, still loving you from Chile. Thank you very much, Gabriel.
Thank you. Also, there was another super chat from 123784444 games for $2 saying, no, the retcon, the Force. They retcon the Force to be the sandwich.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. No, it doesn't. All
I'm
right.
so weird that Disney owns National Geographic. I don't know why, but that's just odd.
Jedi Granville dropped $20 saying, do you guys think Disney will consume all the big studios in time? And part of me wants to say, no, that's illegal. The other part of me wants to say, technically, Disney's already larger than they should be legally allowed to be, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Like, I didn't know they own National Geographic. I do know that Disney does do their Disney Nature documentary stuff, but National Geographic, that's a new one.
Also on Twitch, Your Onante Yor says, good evening. And I have no idea if I pronounced your name right. I'm pretty sure I didn't. And I'm sorry.
Yes, but Jedi Granville. I don't know if Disney will own everything. I know that they've been wanting to own things for a while, like that they've been wanting to get the rights for the Wizard of Oz for years, but MGM will just not let go. And I wouldn't be surprised if they purchase the rights to MGM and Turner Classics so that they can be able to get Wizard of Oz and a whole bunch of other things like A Christmas Story. I mean, let's have Christmas too. And
there was like an honest trailer video where they were talking about Mary Poppins, and they were saying that like after the Disney movie, after the Mary Poppins movie, the author of the books put it in her will that Disney was not allowed to use the license to make any more Mary Poppins movies afterwards. So that's why there wasn't another one. And so they just basically waited and, bided their time until they finally could. And before that, they released a movie where Disney is the hero and she's an unlikable shrew.
Ah, okay. Got a couple interesting comments. Nerd Musk says it's not illegal to be a monopoly, it's illegal to abuse your position as a monopoly.
That still doesn't make it right.
And you says, say, play another day. It is easier. Sorry for the writing, I am French. No worries, I'm of French descent. I have a French last name that is not French anymore because it was butchered for 200 years in America, and now it's pretty much gibberish at this point, and nobody knows how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've all heard you try and talk straight during a live stream, so I mean, it's not like you have a leg to stand on.
Yeah. Oh, Epic Jason S9000 says, except A Christmas Story is owned by WB or Warner Brothers. Don't worry, they'll eventually own that too. Disney will have rights to Teen Titans Go, and they'll own the Iron Giant, and trust me, I mean, at some points, Disney will have everything. It's going to look like Ready Player One in Disney World 2157. It's going to look like Ready Player One with all of the references everywhere. We're going to have a DeLorean. We're going to have the Ecto one car from Ghostbusters. We're going to have the Iron Giant. Trust me, it's going to be insane. Let's go ahead.
Motorcycle US dropped $2. Decker, when will Kurt Russell be in Expendables?
When I'm directing it. I feel like Kurt Russell would do a really good job in Expendables, mainly because as he's grown older, he just looks more like wild man badass. Does anyone else see that in him?
No, I'm sorry, I have not.
Can't say that I have. Although I could for some.
Oh well.
It's actually funny because, a few years ago, Disney did own the rights to distribute Studio Ghibli movies, and now they don't have it anymore. Now it's owned by G-Kids for the distribution, I mean. And I'm surprised that, Disney was, I don't know if it was either because the contract slipped away or maybe it was like John Lasseter. I have no idea, but, not everything can be owned by the House of the Mouse.
People are saying Creepy just died, and Lucas Gomez pressed F to pay respects.
Aw. Then ST100 says, OMG, Disney got creepy.
Necronaut Play says, for some reason... James Craddock's like, good night, everyone. You don't mess with the mouse. Kaiju King 33 on Twitch is asking, Decker, could you review Robo Vampire, or give me any advice on YouTubing? And for Robo Vampire, I haven't heard of that before, but it sounds exactly up my alley. For advice on YouTubing, I think that the best thing I can say is to just be stubborn as hell. It is an uphill battle, and they're making the hill steeper by the day. But just if it's what you want to do it. Yeah, I can't guarantee success, but the biggest thing to do to really help there isn't so much, oh, you got to do so much to appease to a mass audience. You got to do so much to ensure things go viral. You can't ensure things go viral. I've been doing this for over 7 years, and nothing I've made has ever gone viral.
Yeah.
I've just been stubborn, and I haven't left. And occasionally people come by and like what I got to put out, like what I say about it. Occasionally don't like what I say about it, but for whatever reason, they decide it's interesting to just subscribe and check out what I'll be saying later. So
Yeah.
that's it. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm. We have a few super chat comments. We have two pounds, euro, dollar, whatever, from a white girl blackwash to feel white guilt, saying Disney and Google is the new Wayland Yutani. Well, not really.
I don't. In Alien Resurrection, they did say Wayland Yutani got bought out by Walmart. So it is Disney being the new Wayland Yutani. To give it 250 years, I could see that.
Sure. Great. Pretty soon Disney's going to be owned by Walmart. And we're going to have an entire section filled with like Walmart plushies and DVDs. Because of course I'm no joking about that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, he's going again. You shouldn't have joked, Patricia. You shouldn't have joked.
I know. I shouldn't have said anything. I'm evil. I'm sorry.
Oh god. But yeah, we got the a few other super chats. Lazarus Soul 82 dropped $9.99, saying technically since they finally own Fox and Fox does Gotham, Disney can bring in Batman into a Marvel film. Technically, all hail the House of Mouse. And 1237844 Games dropped $2 more, saying new from Disney, Mickey Mouse, the Assassin. And Jedi Granville dropped $2, saying, is Creepy coming back? Lol. So yeah, this is going wonderful. But I don't know if you brought it in with the news as well, but speaking of Disney and Star Wars, there's the new Star Wars game being...
Yeah, there's the new Star Wars game, yeah.
And there's some news about it involving like it's EA still publishing, but they're doing more hands off. It's supposed to actually be single player, and it's like they took a step back and like, hey, we just realized all this shit we're doing, destroying potential games that everyone wants because we want to put in bullshit they don't. It's giving us a bad rep. So let's put this out there, fix it. Maybe get people to like us again, then we can destroy the next Star Wars game trying to put it in multiplayer bullshit and loot crates.
I mean, we did discuss briefly on the last episode of Live and Wired that Disney was, asking Lucasfilms, do games again because EA is just messing around with all the stupid loot crates and the stuff that people don't want because we want to make money. So... yeah, I'm just going to quickly finish reading off this because we don't know if Creepy's coming back. Let's see. So Disney Plus will be available through stream, through smart TVs, web browsers, and on tablets, mobile devices, and game consoles, according to Mayer. The streaming service has already secured deals with Roku and Sony for availability on their respective platforms. Disney Plus subscribers...
sorry, it's just Graham Glavin asked... Hey Decker, have any of your videos ever been demonetized? And boy, have they ever! Okay, continue.
Let's see. All Disney Plus content will be available for offline download, and the company is promising 4K HDR presentation where applicable on TVs. Here's an example showcasing on what the special hub looks like. So we have a live-action Lady and the Tramp movie because, yes... the Mickey Mouse shorts that you can see on YouTube. We have Moana. There's Lizzie McGuire. Let's see. There's also, other things. There's going to be a series called Falcon and Winter Soldier. Live-action projects focusing on Loki and Hawkeye, the Monsters, Inc. series, a High School Musical series, and the Star Wars series, The Mandalorian, which we have talked about before. And it's ending the Disney Vault program, which finally, it's about freaking time. It's been long overdue about like the Disney Vault saying, once these things have been out, you will never see them again. It's like, finally, I've been waiting for this thing to end because it's ridiculous. Okay, we have a $2 comment from Motorcycle US. Decker, ever decide on edit or copyright? Patricia.
Well, technically, the way I edit them in the old way used to be enough to subvert the copyright bot, the content ID bot. It would get confused with a clip less than 20 seconds. I did 10 seconds as a rule. I would occasionally, if I need something a little longer, I'd mess with the speed of it just slightly and such. But the copyright, the content ID bot has gotten, you'd call it smarter, but it's kind of dumber in more recent updates, where it's a lot more aggressive. That doesn't really work so much anymore, but I'm just stubborn, and I'm like, well, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep on around 10 seconds. I'm going to keep on doing it. If it's a little longer, I'll still mess with it. It's probably going to get hit with a copyright claim here or there, but I'll just sit there and I'll try and fight it as best I can and just keep going. Oh, that reminds me. Recently, another video of mine got blocked, and I gotta go and do a dispute on that. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was an old one.
Yeah.
But
I think one of your Steven Seagal movies has been blocked for copyright.
Yeah, but there's another one more recent than that got hit with a copyright strike. Well, not a strike, but it got blocked worldwide a few days ago, and I still haven't gotten around to going in and doing all this stuff. But the crazy thing is, with as insane as YouTube is about, you got to do this, it's really just random more than anything. And I think nothing expresses that more than my most recent videos, because almost every single movie review I've got out is not making any ads, with two notable exceptions that have been making ads since day one uninterrupted. The I Spit on Your Grave reviews. I'm getting a little mixed messages here.
What?
Ad revenue has been actually pretty good for the last couple months, mostly thanks to I Spit on Your Grave.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
I mean, people are, I guess this is like their version of, hey, want to see some controversial stuff? Here's some gory bits and disturbing scenes. People will love it.
Jedi Granvel dropped $10 asking, you probably answered this already, but how do you feel about Disney doing those live-action versions of their older animated films? And, personally, I'm not really a fan of that. It's a remake, but it's a remake that kind of intentionally misses the point by going out and saying, well, we're just going to have people do it. It's like, if you're doing a stage performance, we understand. You can't just sit there and have a whole bunch of animators drawing a whole bunch of stuff really fast for an audience. Getting actual people to do a stage performance, yeah, it makes sense. But when you got an animation, and it's like, well, we're going to effectively do a remake, but it's not going to be an animation, and that's the point. It's kind of like, I'm going to remake all these old horror movies, but I'm going to remake them as... I'm trying to think of something that was just not horror, because, comedy, they mix horror with everything. What's not horror?
Hand puppets.
There we go. Just do it in hand puppet.
Yeah, put a sock... and that's going to be your xenomorph.
Just have my doll reenactments. And I'm just doing this, like, for serious about every movie. I'm just going to reenact them all with dolls. It's like, And can it be entertaining? Sure. But it's like the Aladdin trailer, everyone just was like, what the hell is this? But I feel like the Lion King trailer is kind of like Disney's way of saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And they're still doing it. I mean, we apparently are going to have this Lady and the Tramp live-action remake that nobody knew existed.
And still not Atlantis. Still not the one that would make sense.
Nope, not Atlantis, not Treasure Island, not the Black Cauldron. Nope. We have another $2 comment from 12378444 games. Live action future diary film. Oh god, that's scary. $2 from Motorcycle US. Decker, when doing the Howling series? Seems you.
Not anytime soon. I got a lot of things lined up. There's all kinds of just craziness. But
That's I Spit in Your Grave movies. Yes, we know that.
Yes, and that requires a good amount of mental preparation. And it just feels great after the I Spit in Your Grave remake review. That in the comments people were saying, "Oh yeah, Decker, this one might not have been quite as bad as the original, but don't worry, they make up for it in the sequel." I'm like, ah, I don't want that actually. I don't want that at all.
Yeah, that's true. Well, now that now that we're still on the subject for this Disney, all the stuff that they're doing, let's go over to the other thing that Disney is planning on doing, because it's not just the Disney Plus, but they're also, despite them owning 20th Century Fox and with Disney being Disney, they will still continue to do more franchises with the 20th Century Fox properties, such as such as confirmed Disney doing new Apes and Alien films. Yes, we're gonna get even though that Disney owns the rights to 20th Century Fox, they're not gonna not just leave it sitting there to gather dust. No, they're gonna do stuff with it. So go ahead.
Oh crap! I just clicked on the wrong thing, and I'm on. Oh god! Help!
It's okay. Just relax.
I got a whole bunch of windows all layered up, and I clicked on the wrong thing, and they all disappeared.
That's okay. Well, while you get that, I'm going to read the next.
Okay.
Comment.
I got it.
Good. $5 comment from Adam Wolford. They will remake all the horror movies as musicals with big dance numbers, and remake all the romantic comedy movies as real horror movies.
Well, the one horror movie that was remade as a musical with a big dance number that was amazing was Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was thinking of that for a second, but I was like, no, but there's a very popular, really good example, so...
Well, yeah, that started off as a musical first, and then it was a movie. Or was it the other way around?
I know that... I'm pretty sure the original Little Shop of Horrors was done by Roger Corman.
Yeah, I know about that one. I'm talking about like when they did the remake. Was it the musical or was it the movie first, and then it was the musical?
I'm not sure, but I know the movie was, of course, the musical.
Sure. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it could be. Musicals. It can be done very well in a very dark tone.
And that does remind me. I still have to review Repo one of these days.
Yeah. So it can be done well. I mean, if they do want to do a musical based off of Aliens, I mean, we did talk about the Aliens high school play.
Motorcycle US is worse. It's an alien ape.
I mean, technically, isn't the apes aliens because it was thought to be from another planet, but then it's Earth all the time.
I'm pretty sure they mean Xeno ape, but
oh god, no. The hairy tongue, the giant arms with the big heads, climbing on trees and walls. Oh, geez. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be fan art of it now. Why?
Okay. So, as we exclusively reported a month or so ago, just because Disney now owns Fox, it doesn't mean we'll have seen the last of some of our favorite adult-skewed franchises. Fox's Emma Watts inadvertently confirmed our report today at CinemaCon, suggesting that we'll be seeing both new installments of Planet of the Apes and Alien at the House of Mouse in the near future. It's unclear whether the new Alien film will be the next chapter in Ridley Scott's Prometheus series, or of films, or the proposed Alien sequel from Neil Blomkamp. As we mentioned in our report, the new Apes film is rumored to be a reboot of the franchise. Again. Why reboot? It was doing fine where it was. It was about to get to the really interesting parts where the people from the future show up.
Well, you know what they say, when things don't go successfully...
People from the past show up in the future and think they're on an alien planet, but it was Earth all along. That was the really interesting part. That was where the original series started.
Yes, that is true.
Oh.
Now we're no longer going to be having a continuation of the movies that people really liked. Now we're just going to do everything all over again because now Disney owns the rights to it. Goody. All right, continue.
Via sizzle reel containing footage from existing films in their respective franchises, the studio also hinted that we'll be seeing further installments of Predator, yay,
Good.
The Maze Runner, and Avatar. Hopefully they're referring to the 4 sequels already in production.
Who knows? Maybe James Cameron wasted 10 years of waiting for technology to be good, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to restart everything from scratch because Disney, I can get more time to do it, and I'm going to want to be ambitious just for the sake of it. So, meh. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So, because Disney now owns the rights to all these movies, reboots on everything. Yay! Because let's not just worry about the stuff that we already established. No, because we're in a new company, let's just redo everything because we can.
But I just like, you had the Planet of the Apes reboot, the Rise of Planet of the Apes, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the War of the Planet of the Apes, and it was just gonna get to the part of the story where shit gets a little crazy with time travel, and that's where shit gets interesting. And now they're saying, "Oh, it's gonna be a reboot." I'm like, "Fuck! Where are you gonna start at this time? At what part in the story?" Shit.
Maybe they will start at the part where somebody comes in from the past to the future past, whatever. Maybe they'll start with that, and all the other establishing stuff from the previous movies. It'll never happen. We won't see Caesar by Andy Serkis. We won't see like the all the other chimpanzees or the gorillas or the orangutans. We'll just see it'll probably just stick close to the original Planet of the Apes, but give it a modern setting and what have you. I wouldn't be surprised.
Nicole7891 says, this just in, Decker Shado is going to remake all his reviews just because he can. With hand puppets.
Motorcycle US gave us another $2 saying, Decker,
quick! There's a sighting of Creepy!
Oh, wow. We need to get a Pokeball. We need to catch him. Decker, wouldn't predators, Motorcycle US gave us $2. Decker, wouldn't predators want honey badger DNA?
Yeah, that would make imagine a honey badger predator.
Oh man, wait, you mean predator or xenomorph?
No, predator. Like they take the skull and the spine to get that spinal fluid and stick it in their backs and then upgrade themselves with the thing they just killed.
Okay, I get what you're saying. But either way, both. Oh man, that would be so insane.
So, hey, welcome, Creepy.
Hello, Creepy.
So, in addition to there being bad weather today for like the second Live and Wire Saturday in a row, we've also had some reports that our electric company have been like turning the power on and off very quickly to test for. So, it's kind of a coin toss as to whether the fact that the power went out like twice in less than 5 minutes was the result of one or the other, but it definitely does raise my ire and make me want to punch things. Decker, bring your face closer to the monitor.
Now, the only way I'm doing that is through this.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, now that you brought in the Nintendo Labo, I guess we can talk about the Nintendo Labo. So why don't we do that, shall we?
I know, I would never buy one.
It's like people...
Nicholas Walker dropped $2 saying you guys didn't talk about The Simpsons on Disney+. But I haven't given a damn about The Simpsons for a long time.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're still doing it. Like, The Simpsons have been around for over 30 years, and I know that, The Simpsons is still really popular, but, I mean, we kind of knew that because of its longevity, it was going to be fine in the Disney live stream. So, it's going to be okay. Unless, of course, Disney's like, let's just stop. But, I mean, with the legacy that it has, they would be stupid to do so now.
I still watch some of the old classic Simpsons from like the first 10 to 11 seasons, but yeah. I haven't really been deeply invested in anything involving the new series in a long time. I will say that I have read about it and there are some interesting ideas, but I honestly think that the whole reason that The Simpsons has been going for this long is because Fox is trying to go for some kind of record. Like, they want The Simpsons to be it'd be like in the Guinness Book of Records as the longest running animated series on television, and they're going to keep it going so that nobody is going to beat this record for like any time soon. Like, they are just going to keep making Simpsons episodes until they have like 80 or 90 or 100 years of the Simpsons.
Jeez, man, that's insane. I feel really bad for those Simpsons podcasts, like all 10 of them that are online, where they watch every single episode of The Simpsons every week. I feel so bad for them because they are going to be stuck with that for a very long time. But you know what? I give them credit because I used to do a weekly podcast where I discussed about a TV series. Not easy, by the way, having to consistently do it every single week and, talking about the show in depth and going over the best episodes of the season and blah, 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 having special guests who worked on the show. It's really difficult. It takes a lot out of you, which is why out of like all the content that I used to do, I wasn't able to pull it off as much. So
we do this every other week, and
yeah. Motorcycle US gave us another $2 saying, all of you, favorite lesser known Disney work? That's a good question. Lesser known Disney work.
See, the problem is whenever I try and think of a lesser known Disney work, inevitably I end up thinking about something that's actually not Disney and just think it is.
I mean, everything's Disney now, so I guess it counts.
So I can pick up something from Fox from way back when.
Yeah, sure. It counts.
Lesser known Disney work. Attack of the Clones.
What is that one again? Was that based off of the sci-fi alien series where there's clones of humans or something? Or was that's the series Star Wars, that thing that came out in the 70s? That thing?
Maybe.
Maybe. Lesser known Disney work. That's a good question.
I can't think of anything, really.
Yeah. You know what's actually kind of funny? I was in Disney World a few weeks ago, and I was there with my sister and my boyfriend. And we were going around Disney stores, like a whole bunch of them, looking at paintings and looking at little toys and little figures and what have you. And I'm still surprised that, for like lesser known Disney classics, like the Aristocats, they still have stuff for them. I was like, wow. I mean, I saw a little girl carrying a Marie plush doll, and I was like, that's like one of the lesser remembered Disney movies from the 70s. But just as long as you like post, and then there's like pins of like the Great Mouse Detective, and I think I saw the Rescuers pin, the original one, not Down Under. But yeah, it's funny, that you go around in Disney and they always like. I mean, I know that for a lot of attractions, they always talk about the well-known stuff. It makes sense, they're always going to feature Snow White and Dumbo and the Little Mermaid and all that stuff. I get it, but every once in a while, you see like a really obscure bit of merchandise, and you just have a little smile on your face. It's like, hey, I'm glad that they remember that part of Disney, so that makes me happy.
Very true.
CrashBomb0701 on Twitch says, Patricia's sarcasm on point, no lie.
About Disney owning everything, right? Scott Duncan says, come on, guys, we can finally get that Simpsons and Proud Family crossover we've been asking for. Sure, I love that. I would love Dejanay and Lisa Simpson to interact with one another, and La Cienga and Bart Simpson to do crazy shenanigans, and Homer and Oscar Proud having all the snacks. Mr. Burns teaming up with Wizard Kelly. I mean, that's like a dream come true. Absolutely. But I mean, it's true. I mean, Bruce Smith does work for Disney, and he still does a lot of character designs and animation for their movies. So why not? We have a $2 comment from Jojo who says, "Yo, Decker, can you review Tales from the Hood? The Hood. Sorry, not the Hood. Tales from the Hood."
I remember that. That was like a kind of Tales from the Dark Side movie, except that it wasn't Tales from the Dark Side. It was like took place in like South LA or no East LA. East LA. Which one is it?
As in case it's not scary enough.
Right.
Now there's fucking supernatural shit.
Right. It's like I was getting LA confused with New York. I was like, okay, in New York, it's the lower you go, the worse the neighborhood is. In LA, it's the more eastward you go away from the shoreline, the worse it is.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And everybody in the chat is talking about like some of their favorite overlooked Disney movies. Let's see. I see Pete's Dragon, Black Cauldron, Fox and the Hound. Fox and the Hound is really good. Yeah. Robin Hood's really good. Have I ever seen The Descendants? No, I have not. I have not seen that. My friend Chris, aka Rowdy C, has seen them. I have heard about them. I have never seen them. Speaking of Fox and the Hound, I also did see. I saw a plush of Todd and Copper when I was over there too. I always find it hilarious that Copper in his kid form is played by Corey Feldman. In his adult form, he's played by Kurt Russell because Kurt Russell did a lot of things for Disney around the 60s and 70s.
Which is really weird to think about nowadays.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, he did a lot of like Disney stuff like around when he was like in his teens. And
got an interesting question from Marcos Vargas Moran. Marcos,
yeah.
Asking, what do you think about A Wrinkle in Time? And honestly, I've never read any of the books. I've never watched any of the film.
Yeah, me neither.
But I spent an ass ton of time as a teenager playing a MUD based around the novels.
Mm-hmm.
It was a text-based MMORPG, think of it that way. It's
right.
Like MUD meant multi-user dungeon, and it was just like, go north, you go here. Go north again. What does that mean? Just go north, you go here. Okay. Kill rats. That's what I spend a lot of my time doing. And
I remember you see, the funny thing is that I remember A Wrinkle in Time. I was actually a big fan of the book back when I was in I think it was 6th grade. Because 6th grade, I was actually having a lot of trouble in school. I was actually a pretty decently smart kid, but there were some subjects that were more interesting and easier for me to comprehend than others, so I tended to gravitate towards them and focus on them, and instead of being more well-rounded. But I really identified with the main character in the book because for being someone who is smart but has trouble in school, in a school structure at the same time, and has trouble relating to other people. Yeah, I know, but imagine that, me having trouble relating to other people. But I really enjoyed the book, and when the movie came out, I was super excited, and my reaction to the movie was actually I just felt kind of let down. I was kind of underwhelmed by it because even though there were things about it that were kind of good, I was still kind of I'm not even really sure why. It's they definitely, they in broad strokes, they definitely got the book, but it just felt like they got the big picture, but they missed a lot of the book's finer points at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I think a lot of people felt a similar way about that. Let's see. Evan Jason X 9000 says Tron Uprising was a decent series that got canceled on a cliffhanger and never came to Blu-ray. Goddamn Disney just make one final Tron film, and they've been talking for a long time about doing another Tron film. Speaking of which, in Disney World, going back to it again, when I was at Tomorrowland and I was walking around, and there was a section where they were trying to what was it again? I think it was either Tomorrowland or it was some part of Magic Kingdom. But I did see a sign that they were going to do a new Tron attraction, and at Epcot they're actually going to renovate the entire park, where at evening all the lights are going to glow blue for Tron. That is going to be amazing, by the way.
I will say, for Epcot Center, that would actually be amazing.
Yeah, they are planning on removing the sphere, the giant sphere, and they're gonna try to make things a little bit easier to walk around in. And like I said, I did read on the map that they are planning on around the evenings they're gonna light up everything in blue and orange, so it's gonna look like Tron. And I saw a preview picture and it looks amazing. I'm excited for that one.
That does sound cool. I was at Tomorrowland. I was at Disney World in 2016, and I do remember being in Tomorrowland, and it looked way different. Like, I walked through Tomorrowland, and I had been there when I was 13, but I walked through it, and I was like, wow, this looks absolutely nothing like it did when I was here 23 years ago. So
yeah, I felt the same way about Epcot, because I went to Epcot 16 years ago, and then when I went back recently, everything had changed. They had the car ride, where originally they used to have crash test dummies, and it was owned by, I think it was owned by one car company. I think it was Ford or something, but now Chevrolet has the rights to it, and they renovated everything to make it look so sleek and clean and new. It looked amazing. And around when I was there, it was the Epcot Garden Festival, so everything they had the Disney characters and flowers, and they had a butterfly display, and yeah, it looked really neat. We actually have a few comments. Apologies for that. Too loud a comment from Motorcycle US. Creepy, your good guy doll is in the mail.
Okay.
And Edwin 499, who says, "Have you seen The Fifth Element?"
Long time ago in a galaxy far away. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Lizards Reviews asks me, any chance you can cover the Dragon Prince? Yes, I would love to cover the Dragon Prince. Absolutely. For those who are wondering what the Dragon Prince is, it was co-created by Aaron Ehasz, who also created Avatar The Last, who was a writer for Avatar The Last Airbender, and he created his own Netflix series. And I've heard nothing but great reviews on it. And speaking of Avatar, that is actually going to be our next segue. Right before we talk about that, we've been talking nonstop about Disney for so long because Disney owns us. So we do need to talk about Nintendo now. So right before we talk about Avatar, Nintendo. Sorry about the Disney talk. Like I said, Disney owns us. So go ahead. No Jimmy John's sponsor. So here you go, Decker. Why don't you read off on the Mario Odyssey VR stuff?
Okay, so it says Nintendo announced today that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Today being several days ago. You love Live and Wired. We're all the breaking news here. They will get free updates to work with the cardboard Labo VR headset, which left fans to speculate if they would have to hold up the VR goggles and play at the same time. Nice. And as it turns out, the answer is yes. That's exactly how it works. In a statement given to The Verge, Nintendo of America confirmed during VR Play the Joy-Con controls are attached to the Nintendo Switch system and accessible on either side of the Joy-Con VR goggles, allowing players to simply hold the system up to their face and control the game as normal.
And as you can see from this little preview right here, which I even messaged Decker, where are the head straps?
They don't have them. I mean, I got this right. I can tell. I put together some of it yesterday, but dear God, it's the legend is true. Labo is the IKEA of video games. Most of the joy is from the fact that you have finally finished putting this damn thing together.
Oh my God. I think Jason X9000 says, Live and Wired, episode 36, The Black Hole. Of course. Yes, that's going to happen eventually.
There you have it. Labo VR will be in stores April 12th, with the base headset costing $39.99, while the updates will arrive April 25th. That gives you about 2 weeks to get creative and engineer a cardboard helmet if you decide that you don't want your arms getting tired from holding up the headset, and laying down and playing the VR goggles on your face isn't an option. Super Mario Odyssey is getting a few new mini-missions, while the entirety of Breath of the Wild will be playable in VR. Today's announcement gives me hope, just yet, that there's promise for Nintendo to integrate more Switch games with its VR headset. Now I'm just holding out for Pokemon Snap in Labo VR. So,
you and everybody else.
Yeah. I got a few things to say about the Labo VR, because, hey, guess what the hell I got?
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
Mm.
It's simple. You take your switch like this. You take that out there. Take those off. You take the system. You go, hey, why don't you just go right the frick in there? And it's right the frick in there. And you go, boom.
Wow.
And that's how you play, like this. Now, if you don't have any controllers attached to it, you're supposed to put on this little safety cap. But there's a little button here that you're supposed to tap, and it's just... The way it works, as far as I can tell, is it's just jostling the accelerometer inside the thing, and that's how it can tell. So the more cardboard you put on, the harder it is, so you really gotta smack it if you put on the safety thing. But the way you're supposed to play Mario and Zelda is like this.
I am reminded of the old viewfinders, where you put the little circular thing.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, yeah.
Yeah. The more I look at it, I just think, so Nintendo bought the rights to make viewfinders for the 21st
Yeah, and they're playing, and don't forget that we discussed about this in Live and Wired a while back. They want to do a movie based off of the viewfinder, which is like, what?
Oh, God.
I know.
I'm trying to forget about that, Patricia.
I'm sorry. I mean, I could bring up that, that they're still looking for writers, directors, and people to do movies based off of Count Chocula.
So there are a couple of games I did play with this, a couple of mini games and such, and I got an idea of how it goes. First of all, I'd like to talk about the quality of the VR itself. It's a 720p screen, LCD, just not at 60 frames a second, so not very good. And also, there's no, if you move like this, your face does not move forward in the world. It only has rotational kind of tracking. No positional tracking. So if you try and move, that's a way to get yourself sick. So this is kind of like the Dev Kit 1 of the Oculus Rift. If you remember the first Oculus Rift that people were on YouTube playing stuff, Jacksepticeye was playing Mirror's Edge on it. And it didn't have positional tracking, only rotation. And it was really, really janky, but it was the best VR headset of its time, so everyone was getting one. This is like that in cardboard, and it costs $40.
Okay. We have a $10 comment from Jedi Granville who says, "Sorry, I hear dragons, and I have to ask Decker, will you ever do a review of Paramount's Dragon Slayer?"
When I hear dragons, I keep thinking Decker and Dragons, and I keep thinking how I really want to bring that series back. But Dragon Slayer, yes. Yes.
Okay, yes. The answer is yes.
Imagine if Decker and Patricia and I played Decker and Dragons.
Oh God, it's bad enough with the twins.
Wired. That could be just the whole episode where Decker.
You think we can get anything done in 3 hours in D&D?
Sure. I mean, we can do a quest, maybe one chapter of a quest. That'd be fun.
In 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of a miracle that we get anything done in 3 hours with just the regular show, considering the difficulties, the paid chats, the super chats, the regular chats that people throw up, the fact that we all have a tendency to go off topic and ramble quite a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
The number of times that the internet has gone out at my house, just tonight alone. So,
Savage Tiger 13 says, "I have a cheaper version for you. It's a traffic cone with the original Game Boy strapped to the end. Just stick it on your head and enjoy." And Sean Hayes says, "I wish that there would be a Decker and Creepy movie like the Jay and Silent Bob movie."
Oh, that'd be fun.
But yeah, I mean, the basic tap, rotate, that's the most basic kind of thing. I also had a game where it's like you were supposed to play with a Joy-Con that you pointed while holding the headset, so you had to play kind of like this, which is really weird. And I put together a couple of the little accessories for it. The first one I put together was this fucking monstrosity and a nightmare of a goddamn build, the blaster. So this, you take the headset, and you slide the sumbitch in there, and then you put that back, and boom, you got a blaster face. The trigger's on the back here, and I'm trying to start the thing, and it's telling me, hey, you gotta press the button while pointing at the option. I'm like, pressing, and it's not doing shit. And I find out you have to frickin' pump it, and then press it, even to select shit in the menus.
I just cannot get over how cheap that thing looks.
And feels. The game about it was not too bad, but then things are getting heated on the alien invasion that I'm trying to fend off, and I gotta pump every shot. And I'm going real quick at it, and I'm worried this thing's gonna fall apart in my hands. I mean,
Right?
it's technically quality cardboard, but it's thin quality cardboard.
It's still cardboard. I mean, like, I'm hearing the term quality cardboard. It's still cardboard.
Well, I mean, it's the title of today's episode, Quality Time, with quality cardboard. Speaking of which, I think that we do have a Twitter poll regarding about the Labo, don't we?
Yes, but I do want to go a little bit more, because in the terms of Pokemon Snap, there's something that everyone's always seen, and they're always like, oh my god, Pokemon Snap. And that's this particular one here, the only other one that I've built so far. I've got the whole set, but they take a long damn time to make. So, I'm like, I got shit to do. What am I doing?
I can't believe I'm looking at that. I'm actually seeing. This is a joke, right? Like this is your idea of a practical joke, right?
No, here's how it works, Creepy. You see, you've got this one's the right Joy-Con with the IR camera. You put that in the front with the IR camera facing forward and slip back there, and it kind of clicks in place and holds it. And listen to this. It has a sound effect when you focus.
Ooh.
You take the left Joy-Con, you slide that one in there, and that's your shutter button. And then you take your switch with your Labo, you flip this forward again, slide that in there, and boom, here you have a freaking camera. Just hold that shit to your face, and there you go. And actually, I feel like this works a hell of a lot better than the blaster. It feels a bit more solid because there's not as much cardboard
You
trying to.
spent money on this. Am I understanding right? You
Yes.
paid to have these things.
Yes.
Why?
I mean, it could be worse. I mean, it could just be cardboard that does nothing.
That's practically what it is, but
I was about to say that.
I know people who spend a lot of money on Funko figurines and they never take it off the box. It's like, what's the point?
yeah, very good there. But I mean, I played the little ocean photographer for a game, and the little zoom function worked well. You could actually move around by looking up and down to dive and ascend and such. And you had the shutter button, and you flick the little analog stick to throw bait out for the fish, and it worked. And I feel like, hey, if you want if you want Pokemon Snap, I don't think Pokemon Snap's coming to Switch because that's a Nintendo 64 game designed with a Nintendo 64 controller in mind. But if Nintendo doesn't put a Pokemon Snap Snap style sub-mini VR game bit in Pokemon Sword and Shield, like if you have this, you can play in a little picture gallery. If they don't add that to Pokemon Sword and Shield, they're idiots.
Yeah.
Because that would actually work out really well. I feel like that would be fun. Also, the VR headset is an easy way to tell that you should probably clean the screen on your Nintendo Switch more often.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a dirty screen, you tend to notice it pretty well in VR. Oh, well. Oh, and I also made the little tutorial. Everyone who makes Labo, any Labo, it always comes with one of these to teach you how to make shit in Labo. It's a Joy-Con holder.
That's very important.
So, yeah, we do have that Twitter poll.
Yes.
Twitter poll, because they're adding VR support to Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild. There's the question, hey, there's all these other Nintendo Switch games. What could potentially get VR support in the future? So the Live and Wired poll is, what other Nintendo Switch games should get Labo VR modes added? Option number 1. Splatoon 2. You know Splatoon. Run around, shoot paint, sink into the ground. That might feel weird in VR, but do it. Who cares?
You have a gun, so you can use it. So sure.
Option 2. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's supposed to be the Ultimate Smash. Smash was in 3D on the 3DS, and Tekken 7 is in 3D on the PSVR, so why the fuck not? Option number 3. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Also, kind of an obvious one. Mario Kart VR does exist in Japanese arcades, played on an HTC Vive, which means full tracking and all that stuff. But, hey, you could probably get something going, and it'd be fun for a couple of minutes at least before you throw up. And finally, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Because if there's one thing that I want to know what it feels like to be, it's insane. That's on Twitter, at DeckerShado. 30 minutes, starting now.
Always, I will share it in the chat.
I was going to be popping it in the Restream chat and hoping that it shows up everywhere. I should be able to see if it does. That should show up on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube in the chats. There it goes. It says it did.
Cool.
Now I just got to get back everything, the windows the way they're supposed to be.
Okay. Right before we go into the next topic, let's finish off this Disney stuff. Kevin Burdine says, you guys forgot Kurt Russell did a Disney film called Sky High, Decker, not too long ago. Yeah, I know about Sky High, but that was like way after my time. I was like past high school. And Don Ackenberg, the question for all three of you, have you seen the Disney movie The Ugly Dachshund? No, never seen it. And Epic Jason X9000 says, would you ever consider doing a live stream sometime soon for either Star Wars, Rogue Squadron, Battle for Naboo, and or Episode 1 Racer? No.
Episode 1 Racer is one of those that it was this. I remember it's like there was a race. I'm sorry, but it's like it was designed with analog triggers in mind, which worked pretty well. But I feel like using the sticks like you would on PlayStation 1 Gran Turismo would probably work better. I don't know. Maybe just make a big freaking Labo, like a giant cardboard pod racer. Now this is pod racing.
It'll happen eventually.
That sigh of disappointment is so delicious, Patricia.
I know. Pretty soon we're gonna have cardboard everything. Cardboard, steering wheel.
We have there's that. There's the vehicle kit. There's a cardboard steering wheel.
Damn it. Okay. Cardboard
in the VR kit, there's a cardboard bird. You put your face in its butt and then flap its wings.
What? Okay. You know what? No, I'm done.
I should have made the cardboard bird and just put it on the thing.
No. Okay, let's
I can make it right now.
No. I don't want you to look dumb. Okay.
Don't lie to me, Patricia.
Let's go into the next one. Okay, next bit of news. So now we can finally talk about the Avatar stuff that we talked about earlier. So here we go. Yay. Creepy, you can read this one. It's your turn.
Oh, goody. This won't be anything at all like the last time.
You'll be fine. Don't worry, Creepy. I believe in you.
Thank you. Avatar: The Last Airbender's writer says a possible season 4 was sidelined for Shyamalan's film.
Oh, just another reason to hate it even more.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thinking that. One of the things that made Nickelodeon's Avatar: The Last Airbender so special was how well it told its story in just the right amount of time. Fair point. Using 3 seasons to take us through Aang's journey. Well, turns out there were tentative plans for more, possibly with a redemption arc for Zuko's sister, Azula. But the plan went out the window for that M. Night Shyamalan movie. Actually, I do remember, if I could just say real quickly, I do remember that this was a rumor once upon a time.
Yeah. That
I do remember hearing something like this somewhere on the internet, that season 4 was going to be, let's see, season 1 was water, season 2 was earth, season 3 was fire, season 4 was going to be air, and it was going to involve, I think it was supposed to be like Aang was going to like go on this quest to try and revive the Airbender, the Airbender nomads, while Zuko and Azula went on a mission to find their mother.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Right. I'll finish the article and then we'll get back to that. Sorry about that.
Sure.
Okay. Former Avatar head writer Aaron
Yes.
Azatz? Azatz shared a thread on Twitter on April 1st, though he insists it's not an April Fool's joke, about one of his many bigger regrets in not continuing the Avatar saga on television. Mainly, he wanted more time with Azula, Zuko's sister, who'd been brought to her lowest point in the series finale after spending most of the show trying and failing to live up to their father's impossible expectations. Here's the tweet right here. Longer and far more complicated than Zuko. She had not bottomed in the end of season 3. She had further to go, and the deepest moment in her own abyss, she would have found Zuko. Despite it all, her brother Zuko would be there for her, believing in her, sticking by her, doing his best to understand and help her hold her pain that she could no longer hold alone. Zuko, patient, forgiving, and unconditionally loving, all strengths he gained from Uncle Iroh.
AKA the best character in the show. Well, I mean, like, next to Toph, of course.
Right. Azula's story was expanded in the subsequent Avatar graphic novels. That more on that in just a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Toward her mental health issues and strained relationship with Zuko, she tried, but ultimately failed to walk a new path, finding that disappearing from Zuko's life was the best thing she could do, only to later show up and try to corrupt Zuko so he had become a dictator like her father. For the TV series, Azatz wrote that he had intended for Azula to have a redemption arc of her own, with Zuko helping her through her pain, just as Uncle Iroh had helped him. This would have taken place in a 4th season, which Azatz said he had discussed with showrunners Michael DiMartino and Brian
Konietzko.
Thank you. He wrote that the showrunner's original plan was to do 3 seasons, but eventually they had all looked into doing another one. Again, this is yet another point I want to bring up too after we're done here. 3 seasons, but eventually, to be fair, Azatz had previously described the 4-season idea as a brief discussion prompted by Nickelodeon, but now is saying it seemed at the time like an actual plan to him, and he'd always believed there would be a 4th season. Truthfully, there was a moment in time when we all thought we would do a season 4, Avatar the Ask, and then along came M. Night. To be clear, M. Night wanted us to do a 4th season, but Mike and Brian wanted to focus on the movie.
And it will be a decision that they will forever regret.
Yeah.
Seriously,
don't blame M. Night for that one, though.
Yeah, that isn't M. Night Shyamalan's fault, but it is, it is something that I'm sure people, now look at it like, wow, we really screwed the pooch on that one. I did remember hearing that it was a planned series. They did plan for 3 seasons,
right.
But it had become such a phenomenon, by season 3, by the end of season 3, that there was serious talks for there to be a season 4, was to try and keep it going and to make a season 4. And that, like I said, season 4 was going to be Aang going off with, to find, I think Katara and her brother were going to have their own side story.
Yeah.
And it was more like the gang going their separate ways, but keeping in touch with each other.
Yeah, pretty much. So, basically, Creepy is right. So they were planning on bringing this back again in a TV movie back in 2012. Mm-hmm. So in order for us to talk about this, we need to talk about The Legend of Korra. So Nickelodeon originally didn't want to pick up The Legend of Korra because it had a female protagonist. And then Nickelodeon was like, okay, we'll let you do 1 season. So after Mike and Brian were going to be finished with that 1 season of Korra, then they decided to pitch the TV movie, which would have been the season 4 idea about Zuko and Azula trying to find, Zuko's mom. And then Nickelodeon saw that Legend of Korra's ratings were just so high, and Mike and Brian weren't even planning on doing a season 2. And then they decided, oh, guess what? We want you to do a season 2 right away. And then they had to scramble everything, and the story ended up being in the comic book series, which we would have today. And so that's why season 2 of Legend of Korra ended up being a complete mess. And then season 3 and 4 were able to pick itself up really well. I think another reason why that Legend of Korra, for a lot of people, they say it wasn't as good as Avatar, was because Ihaz himself, who was a writer for some of the best episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, look up his name up in the credits. I mean, he's written a lot of amazing episodes. he was not involved in The Legend of Korra. This is when he was starting to work on the Dragon Prince. Like he was starting to put in like the first parts of the project. And then he pitched it to Netflix, and then they picked it up a few years later. And then a lot of the animators, and then the same company that did Avatar, they went off to do Voltron, so the one on Netflix. So yeah, basically the story of Zuko trying to find his mom, and with the story of Azula, it was told in the comics. And as of the release of this episode of Live and Wired, they are going to be focusing finally on the backstory of Avatar Kyoshi, which is something that everybody's been wanting to see.
Yeah, Kyoshi was definitely one of the avatars that seemed like was kind of like this ensemble Dark Horse character, where she was like really, really insanely popular, and everybody wanted to know more about her. But what we got was actually very limited.
Very limited.
Yeah, like the graphic, like the story with Zuko and his sister, that became the graphic novel. I don't think it ended. The graphic novels ended the way the story was going to originally go, if there had been a season 4. Like I said, an arc with Aang where he was trying to bring back the Airbenders, and there was, I don't remember hearing anything in particular, but Katara and her brother were going to have some kind of arc of their own too. It was, like I said, it was basically the 3 different factions were going to split. The gang was going to break apart and go their separate ways, but they were going to have their own little individual stories for season 4.
Yeah, exactly. So this is when Katara and Sokka, they decided to head back over to the Southern Air Temple to kind of like build it up again, because it was so small. They got help from the Northern Air Temple, and that's why when Legend of Korra comes along, that's why it looks a lot bigger and it looks a lot more put together. Then we have Toph, who started the Earthbending School, which would eventually turn into the police force that that Lin would eventually that she would actually take in, yes. And no, not Lin, I'm sorry. It is Lin, I'm sorry. So then we had Aang again. This is when he was trying to be the Avatar and put everything together. And it would be focusing on other stories. Like I think that there is one in the comics about like the reveal of one of Toph's daughters, because it was revealed that Toph was with 2 different men, and 2 of her daughters were offspring of the different men. So we didn't know about who one of them was. At least a little bit in the comics, and also then eventually it would gather together for Republic City, and that was when they did the whole force with Aang, Katara, Zuko, and Sokka basically just coming together. And it's a pretty long story, absolutely. So I think that if the movie wasn't such of a massive train wreck, I think that the franchise would have still continued strong. And I know that they're going to be doing the live action remake on Netflix, and we'll just see how that goes.
Yeah, I do feel like it does feel as though like Nickelodeon was going through some. I mean, like I don't think I'm going to say something that might not be very popular. I'm not defending the live action Shyamalan movie. But I do want to say that I don't think that movie was solely responsible for completely derailing the Avatar franchise when it came out. I do think that it didn't help matters. But one thing I remember is that it seems like in 06, 07, Nickelodeon was going through some really, really big problems behind the scenes.
Yeah,
because I remember they had some really interesting shows during that time period, but it also feels like those shows, like if you follow the mid 2000s and you look at Nickelodeon's programming, there were several shows that were really popular, but then about late 06, 07, they really took a bizarre and just wrong turn somewhere.
Yeah, they try to experiment a lot. This was when Seema Sargami became the president. This was when Nickelodeon was kind of like restructuring itself. The 2007 writer's strike was happening, so various shows got canceled.
Exactly.
And then there were just like a lot of shows that pretty much just went nowhere. The X's, Cat Scratch, El Tigre, Tack and the Power of Juju, and even the Nickelodeon movies weren't doing very well. We had Barnyard, Imagine That, which pretty much just killed Eddie Murphy's career for a while. So yeah, it was definitely not a good time. I mean, if no, Fanboy and Chum Chum was not around. It was around 2009, but it did feature in 2008 from Random Cartoons alongside with Adventure Time, which Nickelodeon chose Fanboy and Chum Chum over Adventure Time because they rejected 3 times. I am not joking.
Yeah, and there was like there was another show that I was a big fan of called Danny Phantom.
That's in 2000. That was in 2004, so that was still when it was pretty decent.
But it started in 2004, and then like season 1 was 2004, 2005. Season 2 was 05 and 06. And we're really through 05 and throughout 06. It like that was the one where it seemed like they were having a hard time getting new episodes out. But about halfway through the second season, like I said, it went for way longer. It did feel like things took a wrong turn somewhere, because I have read online that, and again, it's online, but near as I can figure, the story runner for that show had wanted to take it into a very dark direction, and like they were showing signs of this in season 2. But then, like he was fired. The show was canceled for some reason, and he was fired. But then they brought it back for a 13-episode third season, which is really, really bad.
Yeah, it is. For those who are wondering, yes, that writer is, in fact, the writer who, let's see, which you're referring to. Yeah, the writer for Danny Phantom, Steve Marmel. That's what his name is.
His name started with an S, but I was blanking on the name. Thank you so much, Patricia.
You're very welcome. So yeah, Steve Marmel has been a major writer alongside with Butch Harmon. He was a writer for The Fairly Odd Parents and for Danny Phantom. And yeah, you're right that he was fired around that time because he wanted to take the series in a different direction. And Butch Harmon is all about goofiness, and he's all about over-the-top action and comedy. He's not much of a dark, serious, gritty route. He's not like that at all. If you took a look at all the other stuff that he did afterwards, such as Tough Puppy and Bunsen is a Beast, where it's a lot more goofier, you can definitely tell that even with like a creator, it's like the creators always have like the main credit for like creating a show, but you have to remember that a lot of other people are more involved with it than just the person who created it. There's also the animators, there's the writers, and the storyboard artists and such. And so, yeah, Steve Marmel was a major part of what made the early seasons of Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom so good. Going into Aaron Ehasz for Avatar: The Last Airbender, he wrote some of the best episodes of the series. He wrote The Storm, for example, and he wrote the season 1 finale. I think in part 2, I think his wife also wrote it alongside with him. Yeah. So. And with Hey Arnold, for example, it's not just Craig who wrote some of the best episodes. People like Joseph Purdy, who wrote Pigeon Man, or Steve Vixton, who wrote episodes like Stoop Kid and such. So a lot of people are. It's like a big collaborative project.
It is. So there's a head of story, there's a writing team, and so forth. But yeah, I think Decker's slowly losing his mind.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to get back to others.
Talking about TV shows of things that normal people in their childhood watch. I have no idea what's going on.
Sorry. I mean, when you talk about horror stuff, it's like, what? Jason who? Yeah, that guy. The one with the mask, yeah.
A couple of things. Labo VR 19 is now following on Mixer. Welcome. And Spirit Rider TV just followed over on DLive and donated 11.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so I think we need to talk about something horror related, or else Decker's head will explode. Okay, I found something that'll make you feel better. So,
okay.
I think I did send this to you a while ago. The Michael versus Jason fan film on YouTube. So.
Oh yeah. I still haven't watched it, but I've heard it's doing well.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, very well. In fact, it has at least in this article 1.5 million views, but I'm sure it has a lot more as of the release of this episode. So yeah, on YouTube there was a fan film where Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, basically fought each other, very similar to Freddy versus Jason. So Okay, go ahead. Why
I
don't you read
just
this one?
imagine them trash talking with sign language.
Yeah.
10
So-
years after the release of the last film in the franchise, fans of Friday the 13th in particular are hungrier than ever for the return of Jason Voorhees. With various fan films going viral and even smashing fan funding goals on platforms like Kickstarter, this latest one has already slashed up over 1 million viewers in 1 week, and it brings together Jason and Michael Myers. Titled
I'm sorry, Decker. We did miss a super chat. Thank you for letting us know. From $2 from Motorcycle US. 3 of y'all. What elemental bender be and why? So, talking about Avatar again.
Right.
Which element would we bend? Earth, fire, water, or earth? I mean, no. Air. Because Earth is just so good. I said it twice. Okay. Yeah. So air, water, earth, or fire. So
burn, fire.
Okay. So creepy. What about you?
I was gonna say Decker would be fire, Earthbender. You know,
Really, me Earthbender?
I can honestly see you having super strength and throwing boulders through the air.
And given the choice between earth, fire, water, and earth.
I mean, what would you be? What would you be, creepy?
I think I see myself as an airbender.
Airbender, cool.
Air or water, one of the two.
I would see you as a waterbender. Then you can control Decker whenever he starts, not doing what you want to do. You can bloodbend him.
Or fan the flames. Fan the flames is an option.
Sure. Let's see. But yeah, I've never thought about me being an earthbender. That's cool. All right. So, okay, creepy. Decker. Now you can finish reading.
Titled Michael vs. Jason Evil Emerges, the 30-minute fan film was made by the folks over at Radical Talent and takes place sometime after the events of both Halloween 2018 and Freddy vs. Jason, reflected by the masks worn by Michael and Jason. Jason awakens after lying dormant for many years, yet again, and Michael escapes from custody, yet again, putting the two horror icons in a collision course that leads to a pretty epic battle for survival. The battle itself is pretty damn awesome, and the Michael Myers escape sequence that precedes it is incredibly well done. We don't cover fan films all that often here on BD, and that's simply because most of them aren't very good. But Michael vs. Jason is one of those rare gems that delivers the goods and reminds that not all fan films are created equal. Thanks in large part to strong editing and effective sound design, writer-director Luke Petter's contribution to horror franchise fan films is one hell of an entertaining and bloody treat. All right.
Let me see if there's more. No, that's it. All right, so there's the video if you want to go check it out. Okay. So yeah, I haven't been able to have a chance to see it, but I did hear a lot of people really liking it.
Also, I do often get messages linking me to Confessions of Freddy Krueger, some sort of thing. It's a fan film that's pretty much, as far as I can tell, it takes place at a desk, and it's just kind of Freddy Krueger saying his side of the story. I don't know. I haven't watched it still, so which is why I keep getting it sent to me, because people know. People know this motherfucker hasn't watched this shit. Send it.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring out another bit of horror news to kind of make up for the talk of Avatar that we did. Okay, so here we go. I got another one. Robert Englund will host Travel Channel's spooky new series, Shadows of History. I think it's my turn this time.
Spooky.
Horror legend Robert Englund will bring his iconic voice to the Travel Channel. THR reports this morning as he has been tapped to host the upcoming series Shadows of History. The Cabler has picked up 6 episodes of Shadows of History, in which the Nightmare on Elm Street star Robert Englund investigates frightening, odd, and creepy stories from America's past, as initially printed in newspapers. THR details, in each episode, Englund will track down the story behind a bizarre or mysterious account printed in an American newspaper in the past. He will enlist historians and scholars to get to the truth behind the reports. How can you make fascinating and petrified stories even more scary? Add the genius of Robert Englund, says Travel Channel GM Jane Latman. As if tales of flying monsters, zombie cannibals, and ghost ships are not enough, we're cranking the volume for maximum impact, and our fans are going to go nuts for this legendary actor. Shadows of History is produced by...
Flying zombie cannibal ghosts?
No. Flying monsters, zombie cannibals, and ghost ships.
Oh.
So that it's separate.
Okay.
Yeah, because flying zombie ships is going to be... that's like insane. Anyway, Shadows of History is produced by Workaholic Productions. Luke Ellis executive produces for Workaholic and Daniel A. Schwartz for Travel Channel. All right, so yes, Robert Englund is coming back to around the country so he can take a look at spooky things because, yay! I mean, we have a spooky country with spooky things that happens, and we have Freddy Krueger to tell us all about it.
I wonder how many episodes he's going to be in where he's actually got a glove on like that.
For some reason, why am I suddenly hearing the dun 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 Six Sad World sting? You know that from Daria. It's like I'm imagining Robert Englund there, but he was like dun 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 dun.
Exactly.
Brought
Flying,
to life by voodoo, but no one taught them to cross at the green. The Jaywalking Dead tonight on Shadows of History.
And Six Sad World. Yes. Absolutely. It's just my God. All right. Okay, let's bring out one more bit of horror stuff. So this one I want Creepy to read. This is because it's American Horror Story. And I know Creepy has done his fair share of reviews of American Horror Story. I know. Okay, so this time around, I know the show that wouldn't die, but it's announced that it's going to be having its 9th season, and its 9th season this time around. 9. Okay, American Horror Story season 9 is a slasher movie homage called 1984. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, 1984? Is it based off of the George Orwell book? Is Big Brother going to be the main villain or something? But no, it's actually more heavily influenced by Friday the 13th, even though that the title is very misleading. So
I was like, wait a minute. But Friday the 13th came out in 1980, not 1984.
I know. It's like, what? I was confused. It's like, I know that there was one season of American Horror Story that had to do with politics or something, and I thought that they were going to continue with that direction. It's like, oh, now we're going to have a dystopian world and Big Brother, but no, it's Friday the 13th.
Weird too. I mean, I was like, there were these evil clowns, and there was this cult, and I was just like, I don't know. That was just a really weird season. Mm-hmm. And not even like fun weird, it's just the kind of weird where you're like, I don't think anyone thought this through.
I mean, I understand what they were trying to do. American Horror Story, every season is completely different. I have no idea what the hell they were trying to do. So I think that maybe they were trying to mix it up a bit, as like preventing it from being stale, and I think they just went a little too far.
That's a possibility. Then again, American Horror Story on the whole is kind of a mixed bag. Season 1 was bleh. Season 2 was actually, to me, great. Season 3 is the season that's bad, but is entertainingly bad. I mean, the first scene starts off with basically a girl who accidentally murders her boyfriend with her vagina.
Oopsie.
I am not even I swear, I am not making that up. I am not. I swear it. That is the thing that happens in the very first episode.
Well, what did it have? Was it like filled with thorns and tentacles or something? No, in that episode of Drawn Together where Princess Clara had like the tentacle. Is that what happened?
No. I mean, it's just like the season 3 is called American Horror Story Coven, and it's basically X-Men but with witches. It's like there's a school for magic. These girls who are born with magical abilities, they're sent there to basically not kill anybody, but they keep doing that. And like the very first episode, the very first scene, this girl has decided to lose her virginity, and she's going to have sex for the first time with her boyfriend, and it's going to be great. And then, like, right in the middle of sex, her boyfriend's face just kind of starts bleeding, like, from all orifices, nose, eyes. And as it turns out, and I mean, like, I don't even, and like, then and now, I don't understand how this is a magical gift. Apparently, her power is that if she has sex with someone, they die.
Well, yay.
What?
Lenicia, damn it, they sent the video saying how to say their name, and I can't remember it. But they said, think Rogue, but vagina-based.
Yes, basically. It's like Ryan Murphy just speed read through X-Men and nitpicked like a few characters and then called them witches instead of mutants. But it's just like, I am just like, okay, how and why and also how? I mean, like, how is this a magical skill? Like, she sleeps with someone and they die. Not only do they die, but they die from bleeding out of their face. And for that reason, for the longest time, and had I been able to continue the American Horror Story reviews, when we got to that one, it was going to be officially dubbed American Horror Story Death Vagina. I may go back to that one day. I hope to. But yeah,
Oh, God, no.
it was going to be called, that season was, when I did the reviews for season 3, it was going to be American Horror Story Death Vagina. Because that became that character's nickname in my head. I'm sorry, it is stupid and immature, but it was just such a stupid and immature thing to do. And I mean, like, just like there were so many dumb ideas. Like in the next episode, they literally build themselves a man. Like, I'm not even
Wait, like Frankenstein, like Bill
yes.
Body.
That is exactly it. Like, they go to a morgue, take a bunch of different body parts, and basically put them together Lego style and read this necromancy incantation so that they can literally have the perfect sex toy just to take advantage of for their own amusement.
Oh, goody! So it's like a male equivalent of Frankenhooker.
Yes!
I mean, I don't think I have too high of standards. I mean, I don't mean to say that too loud near my fiance. It sounds really bad when you say it like that. But I mean, like, there's a few things I do look for in a mate, and one of them is not dead.
Yeah. I mean, like, season 3 just had so many bad ideas. Oh, and yeah, in the very last episode, it starts off with Stevie Nicks singing a song. Like, I mean, like, okay, in season 2, there was this point where a character randomly burst into song, but it was actually, there was context to it. This was happening because she was having a mental breakdown. Season 2 is Asylum, and this character had been put away in the asylum, and she was literally having a mental breakdown. Like, her mind was basically shattering, and this is demonstrated through her, suddenly singing. She used to be a singer when she was younger, so she starts singing again in this really random, wacky way. But the whole idea of it is that this is happening because her mind is shattering. In season 3, this same thing happens, but this doesn't happen because of anything. Like, this doesn't happen because of magic. This doesn't happen because of the plot. It literally is just the door opens, Stevie Nicks comes in and starts singing Seven Wonders. And then she finishes the song, she walks out the door, and that's it. It is literally a blue-thonged gay stripper moment because and nobody references it, and nothing is like, it has nothing to do with the plot or the characters or even the context of the show, beyond the fact that there is something called the Seven Wonders, but they are a magical final for them to take,
Chaos Chronicler came in late and they're asking what have we covered in the stream so far. Mainly Avatar.
What haven't we covered?
It's mainly Avatar. Just lots of Avatar. That's what I remember.
Not only that, but we also covered Nintendo Labo.
Right. But yeah, like just season 3 had just so many what the fuck moments, I mean, Stevie Nicks randomly shows up. Characters die left and right and are brought back to death. Had no meaning in that season whatsoever. Like, someone would die, they'd be back a few episodes later. It was no big deal whatsoever. Like, a character literally brought themselves back to life, like, on their own, without, like, external help. They were just like, they were dead, and then they're not because they can just do that.
Okay. Well, with all the talks of season 3, I think that the article talked about season 9. I think that we should go over.
Yeah. I just wanted to say real quick, because I didn't watch too much because TV, but I did watch a bit of American Horror Story Motel,
Hotel,
whatever. And there's something about it is like that really annoyed me that it seems to be in a lot of newer TV shows is that the constant tendency to right at the end, it's like they're designed to be binged, but it's not because there's a lot going on. It's they will always end the episode by revealing a hint of something that looks like, oh my god, this will change everything! And then you start the next episode by saying, by the way, that actually changes next to nothing.
Yeah, that's a story.
Yeah.
Also, really quick, I had a motorcycle US drop $2 and said, "Creepy, will you review Wicked City?" That's actually a movie that I would like to review with Decker one day.
Wicked City.
Wicked City.
It's an anime. It's an animated movie.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm in then. Okay.
All right. So yes, American Horror Story season 9. Let's get to it.
Let's get to this. I apologize. This is my fault.
Maybe we should just call it Live and Wire episode 35, Major Tangents.
Yes. Okay. It's probably time to revisit those Scream rules for surviving a slasher movie, because that helped so many of the cast members, including the guy who actually gave the rules. Ryan Murphy revealed this morning that season 9 of American Horror Story will be called 1984 and appears to be an homage to the slasher movies of that era, like Friday the 13th, even though Friday the 13th again was 1980. Murphy posted the first teaser for American Horror Story 1984 to his Instagram, which features an anonymous girl being stalked in the woods by a gigantic masked killer with an even bigger knife.
Wait, like Cloud Strife? How does he have an even bigger knife?
Okay.
So far, only series alum Emma Roberts and Olympian Gus Kenworthy have been announced as cast members. The pair will play a couple, presumably under attack from this killer with gross hair. Evan Peters recently revealed that he won't be back for this particular season. Yeah, Evan Peters has been a mainstay of American Horror Story since season 1. He actually played, I don't know. He was kind of my least favorite character, but starting after that, season 2, he played a really good character. Season 3, he was the Frankenstein zombie boy sex slave. Yes. And season 4, he was a lobster boy. Season 4 dealt with freak shows, with carnivals and freak shows. So
he didn't just work at the lobster stand.
Right. No. He had lobster claw hands. And I forget what he was for season 5, but he has been playing characters in American Horror Story since the first season. So him not being in this season is a pretty big deal. I didn't think much of him until I saw Asylum, and Asylum is really where I felt like he had the chance to show a wide range of emotion and acting chops. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
American Horror Story 1984 will premiere this fall on FX.
See, now I didn't see the thing with Lobster Boy, so now I'm just sitting here wondering, did anyone fucking cook and eat them? Because that's all I can think of what you would do with a Lobster Boy.
No.
Dang it! What is wrong with it?
Well, I mean, I guess if the opportunity, nobody cooking lobster boys, nobody killing anybody with a wood chipper.
I just hey, Lobster Boy, come in here. Just rub this lemon and butter lotion on your skin for a second.
This is American Horror Story. I would not joke about that.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break.
I'd be the guy eating Lobster Boy. I like some fucking seafood. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's take a break from the horror stuff and let's go into some video game stuff. This one I found just last week, and I just couldn't help but just laugh so hard because of how stupid this was. Okay, first we need to get we'll progressively start getting into the stupid. So this one I was just like, huh. So Mike Tyson. So everybody knows about the 1980s Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the NES, and how when the contract with Mike Tyson expired, as well as him being arrested, they decided to replace Mike Tyson with Mr. Dream in subsequent releases of Punch-Out. Then there was Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo, and then Punch-Out for the Nintendo Wii in 2009. And just now, when Nintendo said, "Hey, we're going to be releasing Punch-Out for the Nintendo Switch," with the Virtual Console stuff. This is when, for some reason, Mike Tyson found this out, and he's like, "Oh, they're excluding me from the new Punch-Out, even though they've excluded you for over 25 years at this point." And now he just figured this out.
Well, I mean, it's been Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's what people recognize from the NES forever, and now it's just Punch-Out.
Yeah, it's just Punch-Out now.
So, yeah.
I mean, I can remember when that game was like a really big deal. And like for the longest time, I didn't know that they had made any sequels to it. So,
well, I own the SNES Classic, and in alongside with the 20 plus games in it is Super Punch-Out. So
Super Punch-Out has never had Mike Tyson in it.
No, it's never had Mike Tyson. It had these two brothers that were like the final bosses, and they were not very memorable. They were just like whatever. And as for Punch-Out for the Wii, it's Mr. Sandman, which is kind of like which sort of kind of plays out like if it is Mike Tyson, because he is the toughest boxer in the game. He's like super impossible, and he plays just like a combination of Mike Tyson mixed with what he played like in the NES version.
there was also really, really quickly. I've got some bad weather heading my way, so if my connection goes out spontaneously, that is the reason why.
Sure.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Apparently, so thank you again, Decker.
Let's see. Brandon Kilgore says, "Hey, there was that one where he becomes an intergalactic alien fighter in the ring. That would be that is Intergalactic Power Punch or Power Punch 2, and it was supposed to be a game with Mike Tyson in it, but because of all the allegations that he was going through at the time, especially with his arrest, they decided to change it to Mark Tyler." And it basically is the sequel to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, except that it was by a different company, and the game sucked. So
I just kicked Glass Joe's ass real quick.
Okay, so whose turn is it? Is it Digger?
I think it's mine.
Okay, go ahead, Digger.
Former boxing world champion Mike Tyson has taken a jab at Nintendo. For being excluded from Punch-Out on Switch. Tyson famously starred as the final boss in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the NES. Although Punch-Out previously existed in arcades and on the Game & Watch handhelds in the mid-'80s, most people tend to remember the 1987 NES version the best. The boxing title put players in the boots of underdog fighter Little Mac, as they square off against a wacky roster of opponents. The game culminates in a final bout against Mike Tyson, a showdown that's still considered one of the most difficult boss fights in video games. Although this long-hidden trick might help. I don't know what it is, but it might. Find the article and click on it. When Nintendo lost the license to the box's name and likeness, the game was re-released in 1990 as simply Punch-Out. That version sees Tyson's character model replaced with the fictional boxer Mr. Dream. Outside of the pseudo-sequel Mike Tyson's Intergalactic Power Punch, Iron Mike hasn't appeared in a Punch-Out game since.
Yeah. It's true. As mentioned before, this was when he was arrested, and his reputation kind of got a little squirrely, especially with the infamous ear-biting with Evander Holyfield in '97.
Yeah, that kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
That was in late 90s. Was that in like late 95?
Yeah, that was like in the late 90s. So I think it was 97 that happened.
Perhaps Mike has caught the game itch again. Today he tweeted his displeasure over getting shafted from appearing in what he describes as the new Punch-Out. The problem with his tweet is that if taken literally, Nintendo hasn't actually announced a new Punch-Out game, so one could only assume that Tyson is referring to the recent news that Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream is headed to Nintendo Switch Online's NES catalog. If not that, then maybe Mike has some insight about Nintendo's upcoming portfolio that the rest of us don't. Check out the tweet below.
Here it is.
Nintendo was doing the new Punch-Out without even contacting me. It won't be the same. My knockouts made the game. That's whack.
It's very whack. Very whack indeed. I wanted to be in a Punch-Out, but they never called me in prison. And the Punch-Out. I was in that one TV spot where I played Punch-Out first time 26 years. I was really busy in prison.
Okay, I'm done.
I always forget that Mike Tyson has that voice.
Yeah, he does.
I heard that. I was like, the hell? Is he on helium?
He has that lisp like Ralph Bakshi.
Brandon Kilgore is mentioning M. Bison was a homage to Tyson in the American street fighting game that it was changed to Balrog. They changed around most of the final boss names.
Yeah, they
Balrog was the name of who is known as Vega. Vega is the name of who is known as M. Bison, and M. Bison, of course, is the name of Balrog.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why in fighting circuits, that's why they're known as Claw, Boxer, and Dictator.
Anonymous Bastard says, you need to sound like you had a concussion.
If you bring your face close to the screen, Creepy will punch it.
Got it.
Okay.
But it's worth noting that Tyson only appeared in the 1987 version of the game, meaning that Punch-Out did, in fact, exist before his inclusion. Regardless, it's a bit hard to tell if Mike is merely joking or sincerely miffed. He seemingly didn't have a problem missing out on Super Punch-Out for Super Nintendo or the 2009 Punch-Out for Wii. As the gaming world waits for answers, Nintendo Switch owners can look forward to playing the Tyson List version of Punch-Out along with Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Levels and Star Soldier on April 10th. It'll be
I do remember two things. One, I also remember that Mike Tyson was briefly connected with the WWF. Like he appeared in one of their WrestleManias. And I also remember Decker playing Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, and there being a lot of screaming.
I beat the dang game as Luigi. I just like being green. Didn't know that his feet slipped all over the damn place.
Or that you had to rescue the princess twice for it to count.
But it'll be interesting to see if Mike decides to elaborate on his gripe, or if Nintendo offers any sort of response. A fun, though improbable outcome would be if the company worked out a new deal with Tyson to re-release the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on Switch. At the very least, a stretchy-armed Tyson appearing in an ARMS sequel would probably be welcomed with open arms.
Boom.
Boom!
So this is what it's like for other people who are around me.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if they were to bring back another Punch-Out game. I don't think they're unless it was like for like a quick cameo. I don't know if they're going to be able to bring back Mike Tyson again.
Okay.
I doubt it. At this
Brandon
point.
Kilgore says, I'm not saying any mean comments. Mike Tyson is doing good atoning for his past. He also could easily flatten me.
You could flatten anybody.
Well, I mean, the big thing with Tyson is he's really good at beating the shit out of someone in the first round. If you can somehow avoid that, he tires out relatively well. So, if you cannot be beaten the shit out of instantly, you're gonna have a better chance. Though I'm pretty sure even a tired Mike Tyson could probably kick my ass.
Yeah. So basically, your advice to anyone going up against Mike Tyson, the strategy you pitch to them is run like hell for the first 5 rounds.
Pretty much.
Just run in a circle.
But you can't let him know that you're trying to avoid getting hit by him entirely. I mean, of course he knows that, but you have to give him the idea that there's a chance that he could hit you. So you can't just run to the other side of the ring, because he's just gonna slowly walk over to you. You got to get close so he could put in some power to the punches and then dodge them in time.
Yeah,
that'll tire him out. Just make sure you dodge it in time.
Mm-hmm. All right. I just got a notification. The Twitter poll has just ended.
Oh, okay. Let me see it.
Because it just yay in general. Twitter poll.
Okay. I can't. What the? Oh my god! I'm trying to bring it up here because I can't bring it up there because everything's all my things stacked up, and I'm like, okay, no. I'm gonna bring it up here. Why is it going? No, I don't want to go to Dashikin's Tumblr right now. It's a very nice Tumblr, but I'm not going there. Okay, Patricia, do you know the answer?
Yes, I got the Twitter poll up.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Raven Water poll. What other Nintendo Switch games should get Labo VR modes added? The winner with an astonishing 33% is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At second place at 27%, Hellblade.
Hell yeah.
At 26%, which is very, very close, is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And sadly, in fourth place by a low 14% is Splatoon 2.
It's a pretty close poll, all things considered. Like,
Yeah.
nothing took over 50% or even close. And it was all... Any comments? I'm assuming people came up with their own ideas.
Yes. We have, let's see, at Tropic Scar, he says, Metroid.
Yes.
I would love to see a Metroid Prime on VR.
Yes, Metroid Prime Trilogy, I believe, has been either announced or leaked for the Switch. And,
yes, it has.
And Metroid Prime 4, well, we talked about how they'd hit the big reset button there. Yep. So, I mean, they could do anything on that now. I mean, it could come out anyway.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Brushfire Glow says, how trippy would Rainbow Road be in Mario Kart, especially if you play it at 420? Oh, jeez. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cat Lunacia says, let me get punched hard in the face by Ganondorf. I'm not weird. And finally, last but certainly not least, at Henry 001982, none. Labo VR is a joke. Thank you for your contributions, everybody. Thank you.
It's okay. They didn't mean that.
Motorcycle US dropped $2 and said, so Decker, Tyson equals Clubber Lang.
Pretty much. I think, wasn't Clubber Lang pretty much the Rocky version of Mike Tyson?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Let's go for some more video game news. And my goodness, you could not go 2 feet without anybody mentioning this. Like, oh, geez. Okay, so recently, the next game from Software was Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And everybody talking about, oh man, it's very difficult. And there's 2 articles that I want to bring. Bless you.
I'm sorry.
Random jump scare.
That came out of nowhere. Okay, it's like all of a sudden, just my sinuses are on fire, and there's something trying to escape from hell for my nostrils. You know what that's like, Decker.
Yes.
Oh, we got some comments. Epic Jason X9000 says Polybius VR. Brianna Roberts says Mario and Rabbids. And Anonymous Bastard says, Creepy Decker and Patty, I'd totally be on board for a Bayonetta VR game.
Sure. Why not? That'd be fun. I would, yeah. Killing angels and demons with VR. That'd be amazing. All right. Okay, so here we go. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Everybody's been seeing it on the internet. It has become a massive meme. You know what I'm talking about. Here we go. The difficulty debate, which resulted in the "you cheated" not only in the game meme. The copy pasta is generally some truly golden memes. So, Creepy, why don't you read this one?
Very well. Okay, there we go. Ooh, lightning. Perhaps you've seen the rousing debate around From Software's Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Blech. Percolating across the internet these past couple of weeks. Maybe you've engaged in a few get goods yourself.
Get goods, yes.
Get goods, okay. Goods. It looks like goods to me.
Yeah, I know.
But no chapter in the ongoing controversy over whether the video game requires an easy mode or whether your relationship with it really says anything meaningful about you as a human being has been quite as satisfying as the "you cheated not only the game but yourself" meme. The phrase, part of an already infamous copy pasta, was said with seemingly earnest seriousness by a Twitter user late last week in response to a PC Gamer article by journalist James Davenport detailing how he used a mod to cheat his way through the game's punishing final boss. Fetusberry. What is a...
Don't even ask.
Fetusberry.
Now you gotta say this as angrily as possible.
Okay. You cheated! Not only at the game, but yourself. You didn't grow. You didn't improve. You took a shortcut and gained nothing. You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked and nothing was gained. It's sad that you don't know the difference. How was
Yes, that has been everywhere,
Very.
by the way.
that? Okay.
Literally everywhere.
The tweet at first glance could be mistaken for a bit of performance art, and the author himself, a Twitter user by the name of Fetusberry, has since clarified that he was going for over-the-top melodrama, but it ultimately took on a life of its own as a perfect encapsulation of the Software fan base, which has tendency is to lord concepts like skill level, perseverance, and other hardcore gaming merits over less capable players, culminating usually with the sentiments, "these games just aren't for you." As I've said since, I do feel that way about cheating. Games can be an avenue for personal growth, but I was being melodramatic as well, the tweet author told The Verge over direct message. I believe that people can increase their skill when it comes to their hobbies if it matters enough to them, whether it's games, origami, building ships in funnels, but as he stressed, he has not played Sekiro, and his comment was not at all designed to belittle people who aren't good enough to play the game, or those who think it should have more accessibility options or ways to lower its difficulty. Instead, he added, it was mostly directed at the idea of cheating in a game where overcoming a challenge is its own unique reward. Regardless, Davenport's article arrived at an explosive moment in the ongoing Sekiro debate. And it's resulted in so much harassment that he's been forced to leave Twitter. The article appears to have been meant mostly as a first-person response to the easy mode debate around Sekiro, what it's designed for, and the range of experiences and value you can extract from games like it. Davenport's point being that you can derive whatever value from a personal experience that you like, and not doing something the way others tell you to do is just fine. That conversation kicked off immediately following the game's release in late March and has resulted in some genuinely fascinating discussion. Why do I feel like putting air quotes in the air, even though there's not any in the article, around accessibility and what interactive art can invoke in people when it's designed specifically to challenge them and push them beyond their limits. Yet it's also resulted in some truly condescending behavior by a subset of players who think the game and its difficulty are reasons to feel superior. That latter situation has pushed a lot of the important discussions behind closed doors, which is truly unfortunate.
Yeah, I think that we have. Oh, echo.
Thankfully, when the internet saw the melodramatic quote tweet, it responded in the only appropriate fashion by memeing it into oblivion. Oh wow! Did anyone else hear that?
I did.
I heard that.
Yeah, that was thunder. So yeah. And adding credence to Fetusberry's original intention, it mostly exited the Sekiro conversation and became more of a commentary about cheating in games and the rich history of how people have done so in popular classic titles like Super Mario and Sonic. Below are some of the best renditions of the copy pasta, featuring some truly creative versions that will take you down memory lane if you like basically every video game fan ever once relied on a cheat or exploit in a game.
Yeah, and there's too much to count, so, seriously, everybody has stated this quote so many times. I'm not even joking. Cam Clark, who's a well-known voice actor, who is the voice of Liquid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, he even said this meme in his YouTube channel. So yes, it has gone that big.
But there is the discussion of accessibility versus easy mode and cheating and what have you, and it is something that's frustrating and annoying because it's people do recognize rightly that most of the game journalists saying it needs an easy mode because people have disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't actually giving a damn about people with disabilities. They just want the easy mode for themselves.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there with disabilities that can prevent them from being able to play the game. It's kind of like someone who says, hey, you should really have an elevator here because there are people who can't take the stairs, and their actual intent is that they don't feel like walking upstairs and they just want an elevator to make it so much better for themselves. There are still people who can't actually walk up those stairs, and an elevator would really help them.
Right.
So And I'm of the opinion that adding an easy mode doesn't take away normal mode. Not insisting that there can't be an easy mode, but constantly having to try and sell to a larger audience and then trying to sell to a larger amount of players will cause it to be dumbed down in time naturally.
Yeah. We have a $4.99 comment from Zimzam who says, "Hiya Decker, big fan here. I'm in a lot of pain right now due to a broken bone. If you could wish me well, it would mean a lot."
So I can't do it.
Wow.
That's gonna just be cut right there, and that's gonna be on the front page of The Verge. YouTubers are cruel, heartless bastards like Decker's Shado, evil. Yes, the endorphins will kick in soon. You'll be feeling good. Be sure to take some painkillers if you have to, and get well soon.
Yes, get well soon.
As they taught me in the Warcraft movie, when a bone breaks, it heals stronger than before. Everyone else walking around with legs that just never broke, they just cheated. So you can look at it that way.
All right.
They gain nothing.
Also, shit, I had something here. I'm having an Archer moment. Damn.
All right. While Crippy's thinking about that, I'm going to pull out the other article that I found from Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Got a new follower on Mixer. Buswanker69. Okay. Welcome, Buswanker69.
Also, Omega Gaming dropped $2, so the Palpatine laugh at the end of the teaser.
The teaser for episode 9.
Yes. Yeah, we did talk about the episode 9 trailer just not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we opened on that.
Yeah, we did open on that.
So not too long ago. It was about 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours ago. We have a $10 comment from Justin Horn.
John Horn.
John Horn, I can't read. Is anybody going to mention the fact that yet another quote-unquote trusted game journalist is altering the game to rush a review? Anybody remember Metal Gear Solid? Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5's Chicken Hat.
Yeah, that's one big problem with a lot of... I mean, it's easy to look down on game journalists and be like, you gotta just put in the 300 hours to really understand the game. But a lot of times, they are just tasked with, okay, here's the game, you don't get to choose it. A lot of them really just aren't gamers, it just kind of shows. But, so they give them, here's the game, and we want you to give a full review in, 4 days. And that's a long time sometimes they have less time. And that's not a lot of damn time, really. And sometimes some people seem to think in order to really review it, you need the full story. I don't think that. I've played over 200 hours of EDF 5. I have not finished the story, and I feel like I can give a very good review as to exactly how fun of a game it is. But that's just me. That's where that's where I see where sorry, my brain. It's not working. It's not working.
It's contagious. It moved from me to Decker.
Hey, Patricia, your turn. Brain fart time.
Okay. So, next article. Let's continue our Sekiro discussion with the next bit of controversy invoking with how it can appeal to a massive audience. Sekiro should respect its players and add big anime titties, because of course it should. From Software's Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
If they add an easy mode and big anime titties, my fiance is going to buy it tomorrow, just so you know.
Yes, From Software's Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is out and has spawned divisive debate in the gaming community in regards to accessibility to all types of players. It's especially true for people like me who require giant digital breasts in all of their video games. With every release, I hope and pray that Hidetaka Miyazaki would finally add massive anime titties to his gaming masterpieces. Sadly, Sekiro is another chapter in Miyazaki's series of punishingly difficult anime tittyless games. This time is set in feudal Japan that is tinged with magical realism. While some may have the time to play Sekiro and then look at the large hand-drawn breasts afterward, this disenfranchises those who must choose to play Sekiro and stare at the huge Japanimation-styled bazongas. I haven't heard that term since the 80s.
I think the last time I heard it was the original Metal Gear Solid, where Otakon's there. He named himself Otacon because he's like,
Yeah, because
I'm an
of
otaku. I like Japanimation. I'm like, what? No, you don't, you fucking faker.
I think in Twin Snakes, I think that they changed the line to anime. I think.
Good.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Because I remember it was called Japanimation in the 80s and I think the very, very early 90s. But
Yeah, very early 90s.
Right, but from the mid 90s on up, the term anime became more commonplace.
Yes.
This is obviously a parody article, as you can tell from the sidebar here.
Yeah, I know.
Total 90s kid uses Pokemon card to chop up lines of cocaine.
I know. I know this is a parody one, but I really need to bring this up because going into the guy who literally cheated to pass the final boss, and now we have this joke article of saying, in order for people to gain an audience to From Software's difficult games, you need to add big anime boobies. So yeah. I'm actually curious. I mean, for Decker, let me ask you a question. Now, you being an EDF an EDF fan. Now, conceptually, like it's like for a niche audience, like people going around, shooting bugs. What would happen if if they try to like make it more mainstream for a modern audience?
Well, then you get EDF Iron Rain, which just came out like 2 days ago.
Okay, so I mean, but that's more of like a spin-off, not like the main part of the series.
According to D3, the main series is going to stay in the direction it's going in, and it's going to be separate from Iron Rain. If Iron Rain is successful, it can spawn its own series, and they might influence each other a bit, but the main series is going to continue being about massive hordes of ants, who cares about the graphics, and just fly around and have silly fun. And Iron Rain can be about, hey, we have to have a logical explanation for some of this shit, and the graphics actually need to be good. Maybe we'll have to scale back the enemies a bit in order to do that.
All right, so so if Iron Rain does so successful, like crazy $1 million seller and such, and they decided to focus more on that as opposed to like the main series, like, would it take away from, what you liked about the original series in the first place?
Yes.
So I guess for a lot of people, this is how the fans of From Software feel. It's like, it's difficult. That's what makes it so charming. You're supposed to learn about strategies and trial and error in order for you to get through it. For people who are asking about an easy mode just because it's hard, a lot of people find that insulting. So, I mean, I can understand for people who want to get into this series, if it's like really easy, if you want to have an easy mode, sure. I mean, they added an easy mode for Mega Man 10 for that same reason, because they thought Mega Man 9 was too difficult. Now, I wouldn't be angry of it. I mean, if a person really wants to get into it, like, legitimately, then I wouldn't mind it. But for a lot of people, they are really angry about it. It's like, oh, no, this is how you're supposed to play. You're supposed to get good.
John Horn says Razorfist just streamed Iron Rain last night, and it was awesome. I streamed Iron Rain on the 10th at 11 p.m. when I was first allowed to play it. When it just came out midnight on the 11th Eastern time. And I got through Mission 10 playing on normal mode. That game is fucking hard. The Iron Rain, they don't have as many enemies as mainline EDF, but it's not any easier because that one ant that slips past the rest to get to you, he's gonna fuck you up. You gotta take his ass out. Yeah, it's only normal. No, it's not hardest or inferno mode yet, but you need to take out that single ant because he will kill you. I died in the prologue mission. I went forward thinking, EDF! I've been playing EDF for years. I know what I'm doing. I got my gun. Let's just go. This is level 0. What can happen on level 0? All the enemies spawned right where I was standing. I was surrounded, and they killed the shit out of me is what happened.
Nice. All right.
And John Horn says, Decker, get good.
Also, Squashy Ozzy said, "Is Creepy still awake?" I'm still here. I was having some connection difficulties again. I haven't completely lost the signal yet, but it was kind of fading in and out, and Decker's voice was taking on some of that robotic, slow motion tone. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's cover one more bit of news right before we go over to YouTube news because everybody loves that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into some horror news. So we've been talking about this for quite a while about Rob Zombie doing a sequel to The Devil's Rejects called 3 from Hell. He just recently announced that he has finally finished filming and is expected to come out the early fall. So, let's see, who hasn't read in a while?
I don't think I have.
Actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Ooh, which one?
I think it's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, just one of you want it, or...
I don't want it. Go ahead, take it.
As we recently told you, Rob Zombie has finally completed 3 from Hell, a 14 years later sequel to The Devil's Rejects that will bring the Firefly family back to the screen. It had recently been rumored that the film was being released on Halloween, but Zombie shot that down before it gained much traction. So when can we really expect it, you ask? Chatting with Sirius XM's Trunk Nation LA Invasion live from the Rainbow Bar and Grill this week. The hell? Did I just say that sentence out loud? Anyway, with someone from somewhere, Zombie confirmed that he finished with the movie and teased a fall 2019 release. I had to finish the movie. I just literally finished that 2 days ago. That's done. That was taking my life for the last couple of years, Zombie said during the interview. He added, I don't know for sure when it will be released, in the early fall, September vicinity, thanks to Blabbermouth for the heads up. In addition to the returning Sherry Moon, Zombie, Bill Moseley, and Sid Haig, the cast also includes Danny Trejo, Kevin Jackson, Wade Williams, Jeff Daniel Phillips, Clint Howard, Pancho Moeller, Emilio Riviera, Daniel Roebuck, David Reed.
I'm sorry.
You can read these names yourselves.
I'm reading the comments. Ancient Orange 116 says, Creepy, you have to take down your lightning rod. You can't actually make a Frankenhooker. I promise. I tried.
All I would end up with is a smoldering corpse. Believe me, the smell of human flesh is not. The smell of roasted human flesh is not pleasant. Don't ask me how I know that.
I have nothing. Anyway, who else is going to be in the movie? Continue, Decker. I mean, Creepy. Whatever.
Somebody keep reading, basically.
Yeah.
Sean Whalen, Austin Stoker, Dee Wallace, Richard Brake, Bill Oberst Jr., Richard Riley, something, Dot Marie Jones, and Tom Papa. Barry Bostwick and Chaz Bono have both been confirmed for cameos. Oh, I just watched a show that had Barry Bostwick as a special guest star for Midnight Wing Theater this past week. So, yay.
That fills me with confidence.
Cool.
All
right.
What, this or for the show that I watched?
For the show you watched, I am terrified.
All right, so pretty soon we're going to finally get that sequel to The Devil's Rejects that everybody's been wanting for over 14 years. So, yay. Look forward to that. All right.
Who doesn't really watch Midnight Wing Theater?
Yeah.
I introduced him to the Gem retrospective, and since then, I think he's been avoiding everything.
Yeah. All right, now we can get over to the YouTube news. Yay.
Uh,
All right, now let's go over to the second half of the title card. Quality time. So, here we go. So, let me get rid of this. Okay, YouTube is plotting a new metric that would reward quality watch time. Report. amid a Ferris-wheeling slew of scandals with respect to objectionable content across its air, YouTube has reportedly been developing a new algorithm to reward content of quality. According to Bloomberg, YouTube has been developing two eternal metrics over the past 2 years. One that is straightforward and gauges total time spent on the surface, including posting and reading comments, not just watching videos. And a second that is slightly more nebulous. While the video giant is still working out. The second stat, per Bloomberg, is referring to eternally as quality watch time and aims to identify content that is not only appropriate but constructive and responsible in some way. Such an algorithmic development would presumably seek to help YouTube promote quality videos, whatever that means, while marginalizing inappropriate videos and extremism. That said, the quality watch time metric could reportedly be used to calculate more than just video recommendations, according to Bloomberg, and is also being considered in realms like search results, ad distribution, and creator compensation.
Is anyone besides me getting really uncomfortable with the number of times that the word quality has been thrown around in this article?
You could make it a drinking game.
I'd rather.
I wouldn't recommend it though. You'll die. So.
And it messing with the algorithm. It's just it's not like I'm not afraid like, oh, it's going to think everything I make is terrible. It's like, no, it's going to think half the stuff I make is terrible and half the stuff I make is saintly. That's how it is with everything it thinks. It thinks half the stuff I make breaks copyright law and the other half doesn't. It thinks half the stuff I make is terrorism, the other half is just promoting happy standards. It thinks, for some reason, I spit on your grave is perfectly fine and family-friendly. I don't know why the fuck it thinks that, but it does.
Oh, man! And let's keep in mind, we all know, everyone who is here knows the kind of stuff that Decker has reviewed over the years. I Spit on Your Grave, the original, was the one that broke Decker down. This is the one where Decker finally said, okay, I've got to draw a line and have some standards somewhere.
Yeah, I put the big warning in there. I did not show most of what the hell was going on. I had to bring out dolls to express what happened in some parts of the movie. And, yeah, that has no problems being monetized. And just, here you go.
Yeah.
Ads, of course you get ads. Why wouldn't you get ads?
The scene reenactment where the movie touched him inappropriately. Let's just leave it at that.
While at the same time, the Around the World in 80 Days movie with Jackie Chan, that was identified as potentially not suitable for advertisers. So when they talk about, oh, they're going to identify quality content to calculate quality watch time, I don't fucking trust it's going to be able to identify a damn thing. I trust they're going to try. I trust that they're going to have a metric called that. I just don't know what the hell it's going to fucking think is quality time and what isn't.
Okay, continuing. YouTube has not finalized how quality watch time metric will be measured, and Bloomberg notes that coming with a scalable notion of quality as discerned by machine technology or even human reviewers feels like something of a Herculean feat given the enormity of YouTube's library and the variety of opinions out in the world. YouTube told Bloomberg that there are many metrics that we use to measure success, but declined to comment on the development of either new metric. That's promising. YouTube implemented the watch time metric in 2012, replacing individual views as its measurement of choice, despite the fact that critics both inside and outside of the company felt like such a shift could reward inappropriate and attention-seeking behavior, according to Bloomberg. YouTube declined on the comment to the outlet about whether it might abandon watch time in order to favor quality watch time. There's a difference. So if somebody is watching your video in less than maybe 8 minutes out of your 25-minute video, then it's not quality. It doesn't count.
I think it's more along the lines of you can get watch time, but if YouTube decides that your video isn't a quality video, that watch time isn't going to help your channel.
Pretty much.
But that's not the worst of it. Oh no, we're just getting started. This next article just makes me sad. It made me a little furious, but this one made me just disgusted.
Also, Clark Herman dropped $4 Canadian asking, "What are your favorite sequels of all time?"
Oh, good question.
I know everyone says this, but Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, it's a good one. I'm just gonna say it. It's a good one. Also, I felt like Superman 2, was flawed, but still the better movie.
Well, The Land Before Time 28. I mean, just that one. And yeah, I don't know. Batman Returns, maybe. But then again, I saw Batman Returns before I saw Batman, so.
Yeah, okay. Same here. I actually did. That was for me too. And Batman Returns. I felt like that was the better movie than the first one. Plus, Batman doesn't kill. Well, he kills like one guy. I think he doesn't kill nearly as many people. Does I mean like, why is that difficult for filmmakers? Batman took a vow to never take a human life. Why is that hard?
Yeah, that's true.
So, hey, Logan, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Logan, for bringing back the scum of the earth back on YouTube. You're awful.
He never left. What are you talking about?
No, Alex Jones was banned from
YouTube.
Oh,
him.
Yeah, not Logan Paul. I wish he was banned. Okay. Somebody read this.
I think it's my turn.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Nerdbane says, "Decker, just make call-out drama videos and fake prank videos to get those fat stacks." Oh, God. So, Alex Jones is still banned on YouTube, but he'll be making an appearance on the platform once again, thanks to Logan Paul. YouTuber Logan Paul posted a tweet of his almost 5 million Twitter followers on Wednesday, teasing an upcoming episode of his video podcast Impulsive. The 4-second-long clip features conspiracy theorist Alex Jones in studio cursing and yelling while Paul and his co-hosts laugh along. Dun, dun, dun. The Impulsive episode features an appearance from Alex Jones. The Impulsive episode featuring an appearance from Alex Jones is scheduled to go live tomorrow, the 11th. That would be 2 days ago. So, Paul's video podcast has his own dedicated YouTube channel with almost 1.5 million subscribers. Alex Jones, who is currently being sued by the parents of the victims of the San Diego school shooting, has been banned from YouTube since last summer while the company shut down his InfoWars channel. YouTube also deleted InfoWars-run channels that attempted to operate as a workaround for Jones to stream on the video platform. Also, Clark Herman dropped $7 Canadian, saying, "Some of my favorite sequels of all time are Empire Strikes Back, Terminator 2, Toy Story 2, Expendables 2, oh, that was a real good one, Red 2, and Lethal Weapon 2.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, really good ones.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Terminator 2, superior movie, Toy Story 2, still fun.
Okay.
All right. Now let's
Demon Orc over on Twitter says, "So Paul will be sucking on Alex Jones' dick, or choking on it." I guess, I don't know. It was 2 days ago. You can check. It was the 11th. I was playing Iron Rain. That's what I was doing.
Yeah. All right. I have one more YouTube article, and we're not going to read it because it's very long, but we'll just give you a quick summary of it.
Let's just look at the title and get angry.
Yeah, here it is. It's called The Verge. Yeah, it's from The Verge, and it says, "The golden age of YouTube is over. The platform was built on the backs of independent creators, but now YouTube is abandoning them for more traditional content."
I've just trusted The Verge for so long on this.
Yeah. But basically, very similar. So we've been talking about something similar to this for a while, about how YouTubers are constantly suffering from burnout because they have to constantly post out YouTube videos almost every day or every week at least.
On Twitch, Jacob Kennedy 2002 says, "Ha ha 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 ha! What the fuck?" Spider Guy Gamer says, "When did the golden age even begin?" Jacob Kennedy says, "Never." I'm thinking the golden age was like 2015.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So yeah, basically, I mean, to basically just talk about it. So it's basically talking about like that YouTube is glitching out with like demonetization and copyright claims, saying that certain videos have been deemed as inappropriate for viewers. Then there's the piracy discussions. Um, then there's the constant postings of let's plays with like with PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye and various others, and how it created so much ad revenue. And then the interest started to change. Instead of like the usual memes and viral videos that would like take a few seconds, then YouTubers would rely on like longer videos means that making more money. Or then that's when we were talking over the past couple of months regarding about like all the all the controversial videos that would be posted up, like from the earth is flat and anti-vaxxers and people leaning towards a certain side of politics, and about how that's generating a whole bunch of views, and even though that a lot of people don't like it, and going back to Logan Paul about what he did, and we don't want to discuss about that anymore.
Well, that got a manual human review from YouTube, and they said it was A-okay.
Yeah, right.
I still remember that.
Yeah, right, exactly. And of course, then there's all the people whose channels and various companies like YouTube YouTube partnerships would betray them or steal money behind their backs and leaving them with nothing. We've already talked about how YouTubers just basically just quit because they couldn't deal with the demands, and various partnerships, they would like shut down completely, and they'll just walk away with all the money, leaving the creators, the YouTube content creators, high and dry with nothing. And then, of course, there's the Logan Paul suicide forest thing, which, again, don't want to talk about that. And so now they're just asking about, what's going to be happening next. I mean, there's been attempts of a lot of, websites to try to cash in on YouTube's popularity. Dailymotion, Vimeo, VidMe was also another one, Blip, but all of them shut down for one reason or another. And it just never really got into YouTube's popularity in terms of like posting content online, and now everybody's leaning over towards Twitch. We have a $2 comment from the Willow Fox who says, "Call Girl of Cthulhu. Ever heard of it?"
I know Call of Cthulhu, not Call Girl of Cthulhu. I think that I don't want to know about that. That does not sound like it would be a very fun way to end the night. Interesting, but not fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's more or less what it is.
That reminds me, I really, really, really wish that I would ever get the frickin' silver play button.
Yeah, it's actually funny because I've been seeing a lot of people who saying like, just a few days ago, there's a YouTuber who does animation online, known as what was it, like Uncle Joe or Yukino Joe or just plain Joe. He has like over 1 million subscribers or something like that, and he just posted on Twitter that his YouTube channel has become demonetized, like the entire thing, because apparently, all of his stuff was like borrowed, like it was borrowed copyright, even though he creates more or less like his own animation on YouTube. And then there's also Frederick Fox, who creates A Fox in Space, who has over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And not only is he also his channel is demonetized, but he's not getting the silver playback plaque because his stuff online is basically just like, oh, you can't do this because you're doing Star Fox stuff. So it's getting really stupid,
Right.
Getiz124 says, Decker, when I go to sleep, I put on a playlist of all your reviews to get those views for you, for them play buttons. That views don't get play buttons. But then Let's says, play buttons aren't as cool as they used to be. They put less effort into them. So, yeah, but still, I'm supposed to get a notification saying, hey, you've passed 100,000 subscribers. Here, click on this to do this and go there and all this stuff. And every once in a while I check the notifications tab, and I got a couple saying, hey, you want to join a course over in California to learn to make better videos, you piece of shit? Yeah, thought not. You suck. That's pretty much all the notification I have on that part of the dashboard. I don't have a claim. Use this code to claim your silver play button. That just never fucking came.
Right.
So yay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
My God, that's a mess. Okay, I don't want to leave this on a bad note, so let's try to see if we can find something positive to end things off at, because...
I would really like a play button over on the wall. That would be really nice. Just be like, hey, look at that, a physical thing from that thing you do with your life.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement. Hey, look at that, you've done so. That's just an empty spot right there. That's where my play button would be. If I had one!
I wonder if Decker realizes he was quoting a line from
the Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents.
I just see it on Twitter all the time. That's all I know.
Okay.
Okay, that makes more sense, actually.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's see, what can we talk about? An upcoming event. There we go. Let's go back into a little bit of horror again. So, anybody who lives in the New York area, I'm sure that some of you guys are familiar with a museum in Astoria, Queens, called the Museum of Moving Image. So there's going to be a screening over there on the 1980s horror movie called Maniac. And the director, William Lustig, is actually going to be over there.
Oh, Maniac.
Yeah, Maniac. Director William Lustig, 1980. With Joseph Spinell, Caroline Munro, every horror fan can tell you about the first time they saw Maniac, and everyone else hasn't forgotten it either. Landmark special effects by the legendary Tom Savini, and a career performance by Joe Spinell as Frank Zito, one of horror's sleaziest slashers, are at heart of William Lustig's exploitation landmark. This dark, twisted, and relentless film was met with revulsion. I can read. From mainstream critics and protests from scandalized special interest groups upon its release in 1980 and was censored around the world for its shocking and brutal content. Yet
Yay! The shocking and brutal content, not the censorship part.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yay, brutal, blood, guts, gore. Since the film has since risen to legendary status among cult and horror fans thanks to its unconventional script co-written by Joe Spinell, Lustig's atmospheric directing, and its outlaw allure, this screening of the film will be followed by a discussion with the director, William Lustig.
I just imagine the one guy in the audience, what the fuck were you thinking?
So yes, once again, if any of you guys are in the New York area, more specifically in Astoria, Queens, New York, the event will be next, let me see if I can double check it's in 2 weeks from now on the 27th of April at 7:00 p.m. at the Redstone Theater. So I've actually been to this museum before, and it is a really, really good museum. Currently, they have all the Muppets from Sesame Street. They have the puppets from Dark Crystal and of Labyrinth, and they even have the costumes there. And they have a lot of cool features, like they have the old, film cameras. They have microphones. There is an ADR booth that you can go in to do voiceovers. If you follow me on Instagram, you can actually see a lot of the pictures that I posted of my trip in the Museum of Moving Image. Really great place. And also, it's actually
I
about
got a comment over on DLive besides the pooping rhino. Harun, aka Dragon, says, y'all talking about Sonic the Hedgehog? He's my favorite hedgehog, too.
Oh, no, we are not talking about Sonic.
Not this time.
Not this time. There, no new information about the Sonic movie yet, but trust me.
I just realized something that just absolutely crushed my soul. I'm going to have to do a reaction review to that movie, aren't I?
Yeah.
We talked about it so frickin' much on the show so many times. Now I'm going to... Though,
guess what?
There was one of the viewers on Twitch, if I can scroll up, Jacob Kennedy 2002 says, here's something positive. Crush 40 is back in a Sonic game. So,
thank God.
So there's that.
Yeah, so if you do a reaction review of it, what that means. That means all three of us are probably going to have to review this movie and talk about just how amazing it is.
I'm going to have to put Open Your Heart on just put on a disc, put it in my car, and just like blare it the whole way down.
Yeah. Yeah. So many.
When the Sonic movie comes out, we'll all go and see it, and then that'll be that Saturday's Live and Wired special. Just spend the entire movie talking about how bad it was.
I don't know. You keep positive hope. Might not be terrible. Might be merely cringe. You know.
Sure.
Oh god. Michael Wolf says Sonic the Hedgehog reaction review, aka Decker screaming at a steering wheel, part 2. And Spider Guy Gamer on Twitch asks, MSG3King the new Sonic? And I don't think that's quite legal yet. Oh, it could do a riff tracks.
Sure.
That's true.
Good. Let's see. I wonder if there's some Sonic fur bait in the film. Oh no.
If there's any, they haven't announced any new furry characters, but if they do, if there is one, by the end of the hour, what's going to be all over the front page of DeviantArt.
Yes. All right. There's plenty of others that we can go over.
And it's kind of like way back when YouTube actually did promote animators, and you can find great independent animation on YouTube. I just remember the one where just the one guy, as like he's watching on the computer, and he's like, "They just announced a new Sonic character. I must draw porn of it."
Let me guess. It's something that you would find on like Newgrounds or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. There's plenty of others that we can go over. There's a lot of others like the actors announced for the Creepshow series on Shudder. First footage of Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. John Cho will be playing as Spike Spiegel in the Cowboy Bebop Netflix series. Cowboy
Bebop, yay! Netflix series. Oh,
yeah. Yay! It's like, oh yay, Cowboy Bebop. Oh, live action Netflix series. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of others that we can go over, but I think that we are going to be running out of time. So let's just wrap things up.
Right.
Okay.
Decker, what you got going on?
I have a lot more frickin' Labo kits to build. Because I was the idiot that bought the whole frickin' set instead of just the fucking health set and the blaster. Though I don't really care for the blaster, I like the camera a lot more. Mm-hmm. But other than that, still playing EDF Iron Rain, though that is getting in the awkward spot where there's just so much shit happening, and I'm concentrating on that so much, I'm not actually commentating on it. So it would be handy to have multiplayer going. That's up to 6-player multiplayer. Did you know that one? 6-player co-op, 8-player 4v4 versus. Still want to continue with EDF 5 on the gaming channel. Well, on Twitch mostly, but then put on the gaming channel. I've been kind of way back on the gaming channel for a while, but I'm going to be working on the 420 special, I believe.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be a fun one. It's been a long time since I had a proper 420 special. I think I'll get some mushrooms. Or not. That is illegal. I'm not going to get mushrooms. I'm going to get pizza.
I know what you're going to be talking about. You're going to be talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes.
Power Rangers.
So I'm going to be working on the 420 special. This week has already been just fucking crazy, and I haven't actually watched it yet. Okay. But it arrived in the mail today, so I was like, there was something else I might have done if I'd gotten to it first, but that actually arrived a day early, so I'm like, okay, that settles that. I'll work on the 420 special. I might actually get it done in time. Who knows?
All right. We have another comment from Adam Wolford who says, Metal Gear Solid live action movie news? Nothing new, as far as we know.
I'm just wondering how they can possibly make an 8-hour movie.
They definitely do have to cut a lot. And I'm surprised that they're doing one on Metal Gear Solid. That was the third. If we want to go in like chronological order, I guess they should do Snake Eater first, but Metal Gear Solid is the first, Metal Gear game that a lot of people were introduced to that doesn't include the NES games because those don't count. But yeah, it is going to be like long and convoluted, and I have no idea how they're going to do the Psycho Mantis part. It was like, switch the control from the first to the second. It's like, how is that going to happen in a movie? I'm
Throw popcorn at the screen. You didn't buy it, you cheap bastards.
How do I get Meryl's phone number? Look at the back of your popcorn box. Oh, there's the codec number. Now we need to push it on our phones, and then we get the next scene from the movie. Okay, when we hear more information, new information about the movie, then we'll definitely discuss about it in Live and Wire. But nothing new.
Yeah, my plans: 420 special, EDF, and maybe some Sakura.
Okay, what do you got, Creepy?
I'm actually bringing back something that people have wanted me to do for a few months now. So, yay. I finished Dante's Cove on Midnight Wing Theater. I got the review finally posted this week. And so that's finished. We're moving on to Lex, finally. And also another show from 1991. That's it. Yeah. The spring of 91 that I doubt anyone has heard of, but it's called The 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage, and it ran for 7 episodes. So it will be the 7 reviews of Blackjack Savage.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
As for me, let's see. New episode of Live and Wired will be. I recently posted it just a few days ago, discussing about Kung Fu Panda 2.
And new episode of Live and Wired?
Huh?
Did you just say new episode of Live and Wired?
I mean new episode of Dream Machine. I'm tired.
So that's it, Decker. I've been doing all the work here. I'm taking the name too.
Sorry. New episode of Dream Machine, the DreamWorks podcast that Aaron Mehta and I do. We just posted the new episode of that with Kung Fu Panda 2. And then there is, I just posted this one up a few hours ago, the newest episode of my podcast, Casual Chats. I'm finally starting All That month, and I just interviewed Lisa Foyles, who was an All That cast member from season 7 through 10, and you may know her from, various YouTube places. You may know her from Screw Attack or Death Battle, as it's called now. You may know her from The Escapist magazine or Kotaku or Polygon or something, but now she has her own YouTube channel. So yeah, there you go. So if you want to listen to that, go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, also, before we go, got a comment from, where is it? On Twitch, Jacob Kennedy 2002 says, Creepy, please do Transformers Prime. It's 10 next year.
We'll see. I have a lot of things to go through.
Nerdbane is asking, Alex Jones on Live and Wired when? We're going to invite Alex Jones on for Live and Wired? That stone silence tells me no.
I would love to be there, but I have something else to do, so I'll let you do it. Okay, thank you.
She's out spreading the chemtrails.
Okay. So, I think that's it for...
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
So, yes, thank you all for joining us for episode 35 of Live and Wired. Eventually. I've been Decker Shado.
I've been that long-haired creepy guy.
And I've been Patricia.
And remember, maybe it's best to just stream to one platform at a time.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, wrong thing. I gotta stop this. Uh-oh. Oh, this is embarrassing. Uh-oh.